What are we calling our podcast?
The
This
Sad Boys
is
cast.
Sadcast?
Sadcast episode.
Stormy cast.
Insert coin to play the demo reel.
What?
Insert coin.
Insert coin.
Is
It's
that what
like
it's called?
when you go to
Listen-
like an arcade cabinet.
You know, like when it starts doing the demo sizzle, it's like insert
This is
coin
what it
below.
is. This is what it is.
Yeah, this is the
Betweener episodes.
this is the starter episode. This is the very first one, baby.
Yeah. Totally.
Totally. This is a really good way to start.
Yeah,
Totally.
right?
Austin, you're an MMA fighter, right?
Yeah.
What's your walk-in intro song?
I just steal John Cena's. I'm like, I like this one. This one's mine.
You can't see me, motherfucker. What the fuck? You're like railed by this fucking big black
and my
dude,
thing,
like,
and my whole thing would be stealing other fighters' moves.
that would be awesome.
I'm
What
just
would
like
your
an
name be?
imitator. I'm just the imitator.
But keep in mind
That's
though,
your
you're-
name, the
you're
imitator?
an MMA
Yeah.
fighter.
No, it'd be the
though. You're not-
chameleon.
Yeah, the
It
chameleon.
would be chameleon, but keep in mind you're not WWE. You're
No,
MMA.
I mean he's still going.
Oh,
with it.
MMA.
You're
But yeah.
Oh
MMA.
no, you're actually going for WWE?
No,
No,
I,
no.
I was thinking of WWE. Well, I would still. I'd be called the chameleon. I'd still be like, and
You would
make
still
any
songs?
just use WWE moves in fucking UFC.
Like you hit him with those.
They're like, what are you doing? And I'm
You
like,
keep
I
on
don't-
stomping on the ground. You're like fucking up your knee. Like, oh, what the fuck, dude? This hurts.
you're doing like the fucking.
But little did
lead
you
up
know, I'm
stomp.
actually an amazing fighter and to throw off my opponent.
It's just kinda like they take you less serious and you just fuck them
there was
up.
literally an MMA fighter
Oh fuck.
whose whole thing was just that he could take a punch. Like he didn't really know mixed martial arts.
Right.
He could just take a punch and he almost managed to become the heavyweight champion.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He's
Like,
just a big dude. He literally, like, after fights, would be like, I'm going to go to McDonald's. And his whole thing was that he'd just wear out his opponent.
Right.
The opponent would keep trying to take him down. And then at the end, he'd come in and, like, just punch the crap
I think
out
you're
of him.
thinking of that Simpsons episode.
No, that's a guy. That's a legitimate dude.
no, there was a legitimate guy. I
I
know what
remember
episode you're
watching
talking about. It's like,
I think he did know mixed martial arts. At least, like, enough to be there. You know what I mean?
boy, am I glad we're doing Simpsons jokes.
I'm not doing a Simpsons
No, you're
joke.
not. I'm just joking
Simpsons did
that me and him are doing Simpsons jokes already.
Okay.
We were playing ping pong. We were like, every time we reference something, we just have to go, Simpsons did it.
Simpsons did
Dude,
it.
fucking.
Oh.
Well, actually. Fucking mouth breathers that do that shit, man. Fuck off.
Simpsons did it.
I hate this, but I'm looking
Actually,
up. What was his
You
name?
looking up
He's looking up the guy who was
the
Yeah.
the chameleon man?
No, he just took fucking punches
No,
to
there's
his
just-
jaw.
Just ate that shit.
Yeah, his whole thing was that he would just... I think it's this guy.
Is it a black dude?
No, Tank Abbott. I think this
Yeah.
Tank Abbott.
No, yeah, Tank Abbott. That's totally who it is.
Maybe that is.
Unless I'm thinking of someone else, it's totally Tank Abbott.
What a
I'd have to
fitting
ask my
name.
dad about it. Or Roy Nels. I don't remember who it is.
Dude,
Regardless.
Tank Abbott's a fucking awesome name for an MMA fighter. It'd be a good name for a fucking WWE
Yeah,
guy.
oh yeah, it would be.
Tank Abbott.
Yeah, his whole thing was just like, he got to the end. It's just with the last fight. Like, with the last fight, he just didn't start swinging back quick enough. Like, the guy was tuckered, and he waited just a little too long to
And then he got his breath back and then just
okay.
got railed.
No,
He
it
missed
wasn't
his-
even that. It was just the fact that at that point, because he has to win by knockout, like straight up, because to be like, he gets so many punches like landed on him, and he doesn't deal that many, that there's no way he could win otherwise. Because like, well, like you didn't land any punches, you didn't throw any.
Right.
Yeah.
So
right. Point
by the end, it was too late. Like he really needs to win by knockout, and that's kind of how you do it. And then
Okay.
by the end, he just waited too long, and the round ended. And they're like, "You didn't do much," and like until the like last round.
Right. So
Should've
he
went
lost
hard.
on points then. That's
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
was.
exactly.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Well, all right,
He's like, that's fair.
fucking ripperoni jabroni.
yeah."
Like, there's a
What an
lot
intro.
of yeah, right. What would your MMA fighter should be?
Dude, I fucking told you I got it.
Yeah, that's a really good start. That's a great start. Shit. Now I have nothing to go off of that. I was
Yeah,
gonna go
well, that
like,
was just like an amazing like.
because I thought you were gonna ask me next. I didn't think you'd have all that.
Well, it's the assumption also that I'm like, I'm amazing. I'm assuming. Like,
No, you're yourself.
You're just you.
Ooh, that's
That-
I can't get away with that one.
So that's like it's
But I thought
what
in the train, given the fact that if you told me you have to be a WWE or
MMA.
MMA fighter in 3 years, I feel like I could
3 years would not be enough.
I could learn
For
Taekwondo
you?
and something else.
I don't think you could understand it. I don't think
No,
you could.
it doesn't take long. To
It doesn't. It doesn't
okay.
take as long as you think to learn
a
it.
black
Not to
belt.
master it. No.
but
get a-
to like apply it like
Yeah.
to
No.
a-
You.
like
That's
in
different.
situations.
That's
get
actually how you get up
incredibly-
in belts.
to
Is that
get
you have to
incredibly good
apply
at
it
it.
to something.
But I mean, like, no, like an actual like situation,
Like
not
to
just
a-
like set up situation.
Well,
that
yeah,
they
but I
have.
mean, it's still a thing of like you're still utilizing a lot of other things than
Right,
just that.
right.
So.
But yeah, but it actually doesn't take you as long as you think to get a black belt, but there's tiers of black belt, and that's where people don't really know.
Should we fucking join up like a karate? Like
Should
a
we
kids
go to
karate?
Taekwondo?
Kids karate. I thought you were gonna go really real with it. You went kids karate.
I mean,
these fucking like 70
I
pound
mean,
kids
I would
getting
legit
tossed.
be down to like have like learn mixed martial arts, especially considering
Kick
like
kids' ass? Is that what?
yeah,
Just
what?
beat
That
the
sounds like
little
fun.
asses.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, like we'll go into. Oh
Well,
my god!
I don't need that. I can just do that now.
But no, see, that's the thing though. It's like if we're going to an elementary school and we
Yeah.
want those high rounds, baby, we gotta know some shit. So how many?
That's a perfect idea for a game: is going to an elementary school
And see how many kids
beating
you
up
can fight.
like a bunch of toddlers keep attacking you. You have to fight them off. And then the
That's
boss-
your horde game
and
you
then the
want.
boss-
Yes, that is the fucking horde game that I've been explaining to him. Okay, sorry. Have you seen the movie
Okay,
The
okay.
Raid? Have you seen it? Do you know what that is?
The raid?
Yeah, The Raid. It's a Philippine movie about a SWAT team going. Okay,
No,
Going
idea.
into like a drug house.
yeah, they go into a drug house and apartment complex. I want a game with graphics like super hot.
Yeah, you've told me this.
Right. But just you go
No,
in.
no, no. Explain to the audience.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
all
'cause
right.
the guy doesn't know.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so you go in and there's hordes of dudes, and it's not one of those games where you like everybody's not one hit, everybody has health of some kind, but there is like an insta kill on everyone that you could do. So like so there's like fighting styles you could pick. You could be melee, hand to hand, or gun, right?
Yeah.
Well, obviously with the gun, everybody's a one tap to the head, right? So like that would be like
Balancing factor.
Right. So like everybody would have that thing. And so enemies are like they're like you. So you're cool because you can do more shit that they can do, obviously.
Yeah.
But power wise, it's the same.
Yeah.
So like it's gonna be like it would be
You have to actually be pretty good at it.
you have to
then.
be decent. So like if you're hand to hand, there'd be like combo systems where it's like right, left, hold, and then you do a combo, right?
Yeah.
And I want shit where you could pick people up, destructible environment, so you can throw people through like walls and like doors and shit.
Yeah, but it have to be a school.
But yeah,
And
that,
then-
that would be one of the
And
levels.
then
like you go
bosses
to
are
the
like
school.
teachers, and you're working up
No,
to the
fifth
principal.
graders.
Yeah.
Are you stronger than a fifth grader?
Yeah. Fucking Jeff Foxworthy's the guy who's
He's
like,
like,
the end-
stop.
you have to stop this man.
He's the last
You might
boss.
be a redneck.
Is that Jeff that
Yeah,
does
that's Jeff
that?
It is Jeff Fox.
You might be a
You
redneck.
might be right after you walk into a school and start whipping children's ashes.
You go to
Yeah.
a fucking
feel
white
like
boy school.
that'd be the best final boss.
It's Jeff
It's just-
Foxworthy.
It's just a hard cut too, where it's like oh they're like drug labs, bad people, elementary
This is a
school.
joke in a show. I don't know what show it is anymore. There's totally a show where that's a thing.
The
Where like the
fucking,
kids. Oh, it's Robot Chicken.
Robot Chicken also.
Robot Chicken has this joke where like they walk into an elementary school and they're like,
Oh, we're
I
that
ca-
bad?
What?
They're making a joke from Robot Chicken.
Robot Chicken's not that.
Robot Chicken's great actually. It's gotten better.
It's gotten better.
It used to be really fucking bad. Now it's
Family Guy's
pretty
pretty good too.
I mean, it's not like fucking Family Guy where the jokes progressively have gotten so bad.
Well,
to the
here's
point
the
they're
thing.
funny
My thing with
again.
Family Guy is an awful show unless you just want to turn your brain off and
Yes,
just kind of have
yes.
like little bits thrown at
like
you.
if you just want to see images and flashing lights, I think Family Guy.
I feel like it's great because
Well, it's
like,
like-
yeah, because you occasionally get the joke where you're like, oh, I get it, haha.
Right.
And if you're like kind of like vegging, it can be good.
right.
I mean, the better version of Family Guy is fucking American Dad. Honestly.
Yeah, straight up.
American Dad
Well, it's
is
'cause
just
it-
like-
story, I would.
Well, it's
think.
'cause
Well, no,
American-
it's just better because it actually has decent jokes and they're not just all
Right.
the same. and
Because
they-
based around the characters in the world it's built and some stereotypes, whereas Family Guy is cutaway jokes. That's what it's all
Yeah.
about. That's
It-
what
it-
makes it more of a
it
show.
doesn't
just
have character jokes. It just
Right.
has jokes.
right.
Yeah,
Which
no one
kind of gets
developed.
boring. Like, because again, the whole point of like American Dad is that it's centered around this family and that's it, and that's their escapades versus Family Guy, where it's the whole family doing shit constantly with
Right.
other people, and then
Right.
it just happens to go.
And
with
then like
them.
there's weird cutaway bits and things like that. They're just like,
Those
all
are the
time.
funniest.
That's the best part if you're not paying attention. Really, that's what I'm saying. Is like it's good because sometimes you lean over, you're like, "What's happening?" That's kind of funny, and then
I mean,
you
like
can,
I like stupid fucking humor. Like if it's just
No,
stupid,
that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If it's just dumb, it's like there's no point to it. It's just dumb humor. I
There's-
think that's fun.
There's sometimes where I go back to old Family Guy just because it's like on TV. I'm like,
Right.
this was actually kind of funny.
Right.
This
No,
was
it
somewhat
is.
smart, and then it went.
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
brain
yeah.
dead.
You see now, it's like I'll enjoy watching it, but I won't say like it's the best fucking
Well,
shit.
I think the
No.
problem with Family Guy right now is actually the fact that a lot of it is trying to be like topical, and it's like way too. It takes so
always too
long
late.
to develop an episode. That's why
Yeah.
South Park is able to do it because South Park
It's
takes-
weekly.
Yeah, it's weekly.
and the fact does it air weekly? I think
Yeah,
it is.
it's weekly.
It is now.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
it used to not be.
Yeah, it used to be
bulk.
monthly.
But
Yeah.
now they do it so quick that they can actually like pump out an episode.
Well,
while
that's
something's still
because
a
even
hot
when they were
topic.
doing it monthly, there's a whole documentary about it called 6 Days to Air, where from day one, like literally they get together and they're like, "What's the episode going to be about?" On day one, they have nothing.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
That's still how they do it too now.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's why they're able to keep do it. But when other shows like Family Guy try doing it, the episodes in the works for so long. Even like The Simpsons try doing it. The episodes are in the works for way too long, and they become incredibly outdated by the time they come out.
yeah.
Can
and
I be
that's-
real though?
What's up?
I don't think Simpsons was that funny.
I honestly also thought that. I think Simpsons was funny at a point.
Cause, like comparing
but
to everything else around
It's a good
it.
family show. It's just good to like see this family actually
But-
bond. It's more heartwarming than funny.
But then there's points where it's like just such not a family show at points.
It's just like here's Homer in this situation. Next episode, here's Homer in this situation.
It's
Here's
not always about
Lisa.
Homer. Sometimes it's
about Lisa.
Lisa and Marge
Lisa's a
with
vegetarian
giant
now.
boobs. Like
What?
fucking-
She
giant
did-
boobs?
Yeah.
Okay,
she did.
so-
that was a whole.
That was the episode.
Yeah.
That was the whole ordeal. I was about to make a joke. It's like, I'll give them credit. They kept the same model design for them so fucking consistent, which, is kind of a good thing and a bad
It
thing.
doesn't age then though.
Yeah, it doesn't age. But then I look at fucking One Piece, where like all the female characters' breast sizes increased fucking 5 times.
Like
and
as
like
the series went on.
no,
Yeah.
like it's literally there's a point in One Piece in which they get in a fight on an island and then they all get separated for 2 years. They come back, her breasts go from like B to Z.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
they're fucking huge, and then
was-
every other female character has that now.
Yeah.
It made me so upset
It's like
because
with-
the designs were good before that.
It's like MK fucking 9. Like
where they just went too far.
Like honestly, and
Yeah.
oh my god, that's another thing that's driving me nuts. People look, I'm not getting MK11 because they're censoring my females. It's like,
why do
What do you mean censoring? What are they doing?
they reduced
the breast size, and
breast
then
size and then
the
what they're
costumes.
wearing. It's like
Okay.
Sonya
Like, I
Blade
don't know.
MK9 looks like a stripper cop.
Yeah.
Honestly, straight up.
So does Sindel. Sindel's a fucking god.
Yes.
Like a demigod. She looks
Yeah.
like she's about to fucking take her bra off and
Right.
tell me to pay her.
And along with Katana, Melina.
Katana's
and
always been
Jade.
like that, though.
Yeah,
That's the only
little-
one where I'll be like, okay, that's fair. 'Cause
Right.
She's always been like that, because that's kind of the point of her.
Yeah.
Is that
She's-
she's sexy, but that she has the face.
Right.
Which even though I don't care. She's still hot.
It's not bad.
She's still hot.
Oh,
I mean, they changed her face so many times to make her more hot. Remember
Right.
in fucking Armageddon where she still had the lips? It was just here, like on her cheeks.
Oh,
where
you're
you
talking
could
about
see-
Melina now.
Yeah, Melina, where she had the teeth over here, but she still had normal lips.
Yeah,
Remember
I
that?
like it.
It's like I like the full mouth. I think
Yeah,
the full mouth
it-
is good because it's an
Yeah.
interesting design choice because it means you're contrasting the over sexualized body with the mouth.
Yeah, the twisted side. I wish. I mean, I like the lips because then it explains like how she can actually. He's like, okay, she can actually talk better. But they should have either started out with if she had lips, keep it. If she had no lips, keep it. But
They keep changing.
They keep
it.
changing her design.
they keep
completely.
changing. Well, because like it was
Well-
from X to 9 was like the big change.
It's
Gotcha.
also like they change the design. That's fine, but it's like they keep the same idea.
Yeah.
The basic idea, which is that she has she is very attractive from the neck down, and then you see her face with the mask off, and then you're like, oh my god, she has a horrible
Right, she's
like
horrible.
shark
Yeah,
mouth. But it's
yeah.
like to most people that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
because
But
I think she still looks good with that.
Like,
honestly,
you get these kids that are like, oh, all my females.
Mortal
they go-
Kombat.
Oh,
Oh,
they need to be. Oh, I like
They
the
just-
big boobs. I think that makes
please.
the game better. It's like,
well, it's like how Dead or Alive
Yeah.
unsexualized their female characters for a long
yeah,
time.
it's like
People got
style over
upset.
substance. Like,
Yeah, because like
or
Melina
Alive
is a
is
style. Melina is a style.
Yeah.
entirely. And
you can
it
get Master
makes
Chief in one of
sense.
the Dead or Alive games.
yeah, I think it's 2 for the Xbox
Probably.
because they all had their exclusive characters. That was really loud.
That was really loud.
But it
Um,
didn't create that much of a spike, really.
Yeah.
Because I see the spike, it's not that loud.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
Because it was right here, or behind the
it's
mic.
kind of like the character. Do you remember the one goddess after you beat Ornstein and Smo?
Gwendolyn.
Yeah. Do you know why her boobs are so big?
Why?
Because one of the designers made it that way, and the creator was like he's so proud of it. I feel like he was like I have to keep this.
Oh, like the
No,
guy
I
that
didn't
did it
know
was
that.
like,
Yeah, the guy who like he did not design that character. He had original design, and then the character made like this, or the like employee made this model, and he just was like he's so proud of it. I can't change it.
That's
he did
really
not.
sweet. Okay. Let's be fair. That's kind of really sweet
Yeah.
on his part. That's really nice.
That is really nice.
He was like,
It's
he
fun-
made it. I'll put it in for you.
Yeah, he was like, I did not want it. I did not want her boobs that big. That's just like
It's too much.
It's
'Cause,
too
like,
much. But
when it's a game that's story driven, it's not only like
It's not like
distraction.
it focused on her boobs or anything.
The whole point of it is that she's meant to be like an
It's
over
more
sexualized goddess.
Yeah,
She's meant to be a literal goddess in the situation.
Right.
So it makes sense that she'd be over sexualized.
And then when you compare it to the MK9, where
it's like they're meant to be human beings
yeah,
that
they're
want to
like
work.
Sonya
and, like,
Blade's on a mission, but she's got her, her tits are
basically-
hanging out.
She basically just has a what?
Salivating.
Oh,
Is he?
Yeah, he's
Please
looking.
don't-
That's what he started doing before.
No, he was chewing on his gums.
No, that's what also was happening.
No, he was crunching. He was literally crunching.
well, there he goes. It's fine.
We'll
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Um,
So
he
for
was-
reference,
Sam's
well,
cat earlier vomited.
yeah,
Was
and we're
doing
just trying to make
something
sure
similar.
it doesn't vomit.
Why
on
don't
me.
you die, cat?
That's so effed up. Don't say that.
Why? It's my property.
That's a being. That's a living creature.
That's a being. That's a being, Austin. Then how come when my dad's sick, I can't take him to the hospital and have him put down? I can do that with an animal, but how come I can't do that with a human?
In most cases,
You
they
know
won't
you're
let
right,
you do
though.
that. In most cases, they won't let you do that without any like
You're right.
express written consent from like someone else.
Well,
I mean, you can put it down yourself. You can just fucking shoot it. If you
that's
want.
fucked up. Yeah, I did.
I was
That's a
gonna say, you
power
lifted up
play.
Your leg.
It was not a power play.
Yes, it was.
You just lift up your leg. You're like, and done.
Dude, farts. But okay, circling back to the whole MK9 thing, I think toning down the boobage does not make the game shittier.
No,
no,
it doesn't.
it
It
does
literally
have
doesn't
no-
affect the characters. It
It's
doesn't
literally
affect
just
the
like changing
game.
a skin in like any game.
It's like when I see, because now when I like watch, I've been watching all the trailers for the new one.
Mhm.
It's like I can see the believability that this character is supposed to be an actor, this character is supposed to be in the military, this character is supposed to be a demigod. I could see the believability when before 9 was like you look at Sonya and you go, oh, that's not a cop, that's not a military.
Well, it's
That's
like
true, though.
It's also
That's very
like how in all the other ones, it was meant for because it was an arcade game first.
Yeah.
So then that was the idea: is you get a sexy woman, and then you put it there, and kids will go like, "Oh wow!"
yeah,
like
it brings
14,
you back to
15-year-olds.
playing.
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
same-
I agree.
Dead or Alive was actually a serious fighting game for a while,
Yeah.
and they started integrating women into it to try and create
And then it became like a
diversity.
dating sim a bit.
No, DOA, like the fighting game, stayed the same way.
Yeah,
Where like
they introduced,
DOA
like, side
volleyball and
Yeah.
like
Oh,
extreme
gotcha.
sports
Yeah,
is where they became.
That's
a dating
when it's
sim.
like a dating sim.
where
Yeah.
because
Isn't
they,
one of them banned in America? You can only
Yeah,
get in Japan.
one of them did
guess
get
what?
released.
There's a Yakuza game banned in America.
Why?
Just because.
Because it's feudal Japan, and the girl that's your fucking daughter is like, she's like a sex slave and a ninja,
Uh-oh.
and you're not that's not okay because she's like 13. So they were like, we're not bringing this to America.
I see.
You cannot. We can't do that.
away.
Because like, it's okay in Japan because it's feudal Japan. Because that's where it makes sense. Because
Right.
they know the history. We don't know the history.
Right, right.
So it's like people are like, I'm not okay with this anymore. I don't think we can show this because that's fair. I don't want a 13-year-old sex
Right.
slave who's a ninja. That
not?
sounds cool in concept until you realize she's fucking 13.
Right. But where do you draw a line? Because like Australia has
Very strict rules.
super strict rules.
That's way too strict. I feel like America, like honestly, the way it is right now,
I think we got like boundaries that are like it's like the
We-
guy code of boundaries.
We
like,
have a
It's
natural
like-
boundary that makes sense.
right. 'cause,
yeah, like nothing that you go, why is that banned here? Like is banned here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that one, you hear it and you're like, okay,
That
I
makes
get
sense
where they're
'cause-
coming from.
Because
Right.
it's a different culture.
right. Yeah.
Versus like, because in our culture that would be fucking
That-
atrocious.
yeah.
You would
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
because that makes sense. Then that's banned here for that reason.
Yeah. See that's
can
like the
still go
guy
get
code
it.
thing of that. Like
It's just
like,
not
yeah,
sold
like-
here publicly. You
Right.
can go buy it if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want,
yeah.
and it has translations. It's just that little portion where it's like,
And
we
I
won't
feel
sell
like
it in
that's
stores.
the way it should be. It's like when games were trying to like ban what was that one game where the guys
Manhunt.
like
Manhunt,
Splatterhouse.
Splatterhouse.
was Splatterhouse actually trying to get banned?
Yeah.
Australia.
I didn't know that.
a lot of.
No,
fucking
Well, it's
I'm
also
talking
because there's nudity in Splatterhouse.
yeah.
I'm talking about that one game that like happened a few years ago, where the idea
Hatred?
was
Hatred.
You talk about
Hatred,
that?
yes.
Yeah, where you just kill people. And yeah.
yeah,
Well,
like
actually,
that.
it's funny.
That game was just fucking.
That was bad.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
would
it's
have
just
created a
straight up
lot of
bad.
hype.
Oh yeah, because it's like, oh, I get to live all my dark fantasies, because that's what they built it up as, didn't
Yeah.
they? Like,
It's not great.
no, it's, not.
It's a
just
poor
the
game.
generic.
It's a bad game for one. Two, you actually could go through the game without shooting people, and it actually plays pretty normally. And three, it's a fucking video game that's set in a perspective that's just like
It's like
meant to be.
Postal. Like Postal really never got that, to my knowledge. Really never. I mean, I get
It got
brought up.
sequels. It
got
gotta-
sequels, yeah.
That's
did
all it needs.
Did Postal 1 start off with like kind of like it's just a meme kind of chaos world,
Well,
or was it like serious and then
It was a satire on regular life because it was a like original Fallout style, where it's
okay.
isometric and it was like a satire on day-to-day life, and you slowly start to break it down,
Right.
with, like everything.
Yeah, but Postal
Then-
2 was just like,
Postal 2 just went
Gung-ho.
full-on satire, like almost entirely.
I mean, you could pee on people. I feel like that's not something that you'd like be like, huh, wouldn't it be cool if you peed on people?
Isn't
Really
that
stick it
edgy?
to
Well,
them?
that's the point. It's like it's going so far that it's
Right.
becoming a parody.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, you're stepping like it's the shoehorn effect. You went so far, now you're on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what happened with the Dead or Alive. Funny enough,
Yeah,
they went so far that they went, dude, what the fuck? We were a fighting game first. Let's be a
Right.
fighting game.
yes.
They banned costumes from certain people.
oh really?
Like some of the female fighters, they just straight up banned costumes.
Because they're just like too much boobage.
Well, because it's like we want this game to be taken seriously.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
these costumes are just costumes. We don't care personally, but in the scene, it's like you should just ban
That
costumes
type
like
of
that.
stuff, yeah.
Because it makes us look illegitimate. It makes us look like a party fighting game, a goofy fighting game that's not meant to be taken serious.
When they wanted to be taken seriously.
Yeah, it's well as wow. This
Oh my
he is
God.
weaving through that.
fucking it's Mac, dude. She does everything.
But yeah, same with Manhunt. Manhunt is actually a game where if you were younger and you saw that, you'd be like, "That's too much." Like you would actually be like sick. Because I actually, when I first saw it when I was a kid, I'm like, "That's gross." Like what they're doing to people. It's like
It's too much.
it's too real.
Too real. Like
You literally choke. Like one of the first things you do is strangle a man with a plastic bag, and you have to wait there, and it's not like instant. You have to sit there and like wait and wait and wait.
it's not like Mortal Kombat gore where it's like, no, that would never fucking happen.
It's like a lot of it is like almost too real to an extent. Where like
Yeah.
you beat a guy's head in, and part of his skull starts showing, and then it starts going and going.
Yeah,
and
it's
going.
meant to be brutal.
And then
Okay.
like it, you know where games will usually cut off, where you do that, it's like, poof, and it's just like a dent.
yeah.
It actually cuts through like his head, and you see like teeth and
Oh
eyes
wow,
and stuff.
so they
and it's
really
like
went all out.
they went really far with it, and it was like, this is too much. This isn't.
But that was the whole point of the game.
Yeah.
was
Right,
that it's
right,
supposed-
yeah.
The idea is that there's like someone watching over you that's like be as brutal as possible.
Yeah, it's meant to be like a guy's snuff film. That's
Yeah.
literally like the whole thing. Is that
Oh,
so? He's
And you're trying to
actually-
fight to survive, and then
Yeah.
but also you need to make it like look good for him.
You need to make it look real, which it is. But you need to make it look really real.
Right.
Like make it feel real.
see that shit where it's like when it's just needlessly gory.
It doesn't serve a purpose. Well, in this, it served a purpose because that was a plot point.
Right, but like in all like when I see like all like movies, shows, animes, whatever, where it's just needlessly graphic just to be graphic.
Yeah.
That's when I
on-
go, like-
on the side of anime, there's a show called Blood Sea, where the whole thing is
Is
that
that the one with the bunnies?
I'm not. I don't think so.
I think because Ryan showed me a clip of
Because there's in Blood Sea, the clip that's most popular is there are two girls running away from a monster chasing them.
uh-huh.
Then one of the girls trips the other girl and lets her die.
Oh,
And the monster like beats her against the ground really aggressively, and the blood starts to go everywhere. And then the monster rips her in half and drinks all her blood in her body.
Oh, jeez.
then it's probably was he white? Was he like a big white fuzzy thing?
No,
Oh, okay.
it was like it's just like a brown
I should stop doing that.
monster.
Yeah, what are you doing? You're the only one without a shock
I'm
mount.
fiddling with shit.
And yeah, that's like it's like stuff just goes so far to see how far people are willing to watch or stuff like that. And it's just like
It's to push the envelope, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it really just.
in most
misses the
cases it
mark.
doesn't. That's the thing. And like there are some things like Saw pushed the envelope and it worked because they pushed it to a point where it was like absurdity.
Right.
And it became like this melodramatic
Your
crime
dad
drama.
is coming home.
Yeah, I see him. I saw him in the reflection.
Okay.
And that's the difference is that it took it too far.
Right, like
And
when they go for like a reason why they're doing it, and then push the reason so it's obvious to the viewer. 'Cause, like with Saw 1, that's how it was like, well, here's a reason why it's this
Well,
graphic.
It's also
Yeah.
It's also was on a low budget, and they
Well,
pushed
yeah,
the envelope
yeah.
with the low budget, so it made sense.
Yeah.
Where like Saw 6 has no reason to be as graphic as it does, just because it
just
serves no
graphic to be
purpose.
graphic, yeah.
I don't really see the Saw movies, so it's kind of hard for me to. chime
I've
in.
watched,
Yes.
Why I messed up.
Did review.
Yeah.
You can watch the kill counts for them. Shout out to Dead Meat James. He does kill counts, and if you want to learn about certain movies you would never really watch, that's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Other than
probably, 'cause
support the official release
Yeah.
Always support the official release.
That shit too.
with anime, with everything.
He looks a little... Oh god, he's got his wife beater on. He's gonna kill me.
No, we're recording.
No.
The
So
other thing Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say, put this in context. We're recording in a living room right now, so there's just stuff happening around us, and we just want to make that apparent.
Yeah,
No,
like
also we can
cats.
just cut it out.
We can cut it out, but it makes it fun when the cat comes in and just goes. Ah.
Yeah.
I made Smoke meow into the mic at one point.
Yeah, we're just gonna cut this out.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a small break.
I mean, who doesn't get a southern drawl when they've been drinking? I get it too.
I feel like beating my wife.
It's like a reverse Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I actually
get
I actually get an accent when I start drinking.
Like Harley Quinn baby
In,
syndrome.
in Suicide.
No, that's not where we're going.
In Suicide Squad, Harley Quinn just kind of like
Yeah.
slowly loses her southern accent,
Which
and
is
it's
kind
just
of
like,
hilarious. Which
what?
is, I feel like that's a
That
really
movie
bad
is such
continuity.
trash.
It's
Yeah,
not a good
That is
movie.
not good. I like DC characters. I honestly think DC has some cooler characters than Marvel.
Yeah, because they're human.
Yeah,
And I don't think DC knows how to properly show off their characters.
They definitely don't.
no, I agree.
Batman's their best one, and guess
Yeah.
what? They keep doing it, and people are getting sick of it
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
because it makes him the most human. Because the first thing in his story is not, oh, I'm really well off and everyone loves me. It's that my parents fucking died.
Right.
the really like down to earth, like this is a tragedy that can happen to anybody type deal.
Yeah,
Well,
where-
not the murder.
obviously not turning into
well,
the-
murder maybe.
like losing parents. Not
yeah,
just
definitely,
saying like
definitely.
It's also the thing of like Superman's story is really similar. People will say, his whole planet fucking exploded.
Right.
There's a little bit of a difference, and then he's a guy who's fucking a superhero right off the bat.
right.
And then he got
Yeah.
surrogate parents.
Yeah.
Batman didn't get surrogate parents.
No.
He had his one set,
Superman's
and then
like
he,
the most boring.
Dude, fuck Superman.
Superman
It's because he
sucks.
just like it's like all these heroes, he's better than them,
yeah.
yeah.
and it makes it. It's like, what's the point of these heroes?
Like,
Then
don't-
it really
don't they have,
defeats
like-
the purpose.
Newer comics where he survives on the sun to where the sun doesn't hurt him anymore.
And then he just becomes really powerful.
Yeah, he just he turns to an actual god. Then it's like, well,
What's the
more
point of everybody
yeah.
else? Everybody
Well,
else can just
it's-
be like, all right,
Here's the thing.
I'm good.
Yeah.
It's like people always argue. It's like who's faster, the Flash or Superman? In the comics, the Flash is so fast that he saved a whole city of 250,000 people in 0.1 milliseconds.
Right.
But guess what?
Literally, like that. He saved a whole city before the bomb
Superman
even
can do
touched
that
the ground.
Superman can do
No,
it.
he can't, because in the comics he can't.
Superman turned back time in the movie.
Yeah, in the
Flash can't
movies,
do that.
it's a chance that he could be as fast as Flash. The Flash actually manipulates time. Is how fast he moves.
But the thing is, you say,
Super.
yeah, in the movies though, like I
There's
know,
a chance in the movies.
They always,
Well, no,
always
there's not
fall
even a
back.
chance in the movies.
No,
It's
in the
incredibly
movies
obvious.
they always fall back. I'm like,
No, Superman's just better.
Yeah, I hate that.
It's like what?
It makes
like,
him
why
the most
even-
unlikable hero.
What's the point?
like the Justice League movies. Like, we need Superman to fight.
Like, have you guys tried to
Steppenwolf.
fight?
Yeah, they barely did in the movie.
They're like, F it. You know, he's
We
better
can't-
than us.
we
He's
have-
literally better than us.
And
What
then-
if we could resurrect Superman?
And it makes sense why Batman hates him. It's like he got lucky.
Yeah.
His whole thing is that he crashed on Earth, and everyone was like, "We'll take care of him.
Right.
We like him. What's cool?" It's like Batman lost his parents and then just was fucking recluse for years and years and years.
Right.
And then he
It's
went, "I'm gonna better myself. I'm gonna go learn something about myself and go train and try and become something more."
Yeah.
Meanwhile, everyone fucking praises Superman. He's like, "Oh, he's so good. He's so strong."
Yeah, it's like I'm
"Ugh."
just giving it. I don't
Right.
know. It's just kind of like lame to have a superhero that strong. It's like, what's the point of everybody else?
And I think for then on the other spectrum with Marvel, I honestly think their only guy that they got going on for them, well, two of them. I think it's Spider-Man or fucking Peter or Iron Man. Like, honestly, those two.
Well, it's because they're like people, right? They're just
Right.
like Spider-Man isn't like just got it, but he's just a dude. Like he's just Peter Parker. He's just a high schooler.
But
And
then he
Iron
has
Man-
stuff thrust upon him
Right.
versus like
And
Iron
Iron
Man
Man-
makes a point to make his suit good enough to
Right.
fight crime. Where like Captain Marvel is just a fucking goddess.
Yeah,
literally.
I'm just a god. I'm just the god. That's it. It's like, well, who the fuck cares? Like Thor. Oh, I'm
I'm
an
literally a
actual
god.
god.
I mean, like Bruce Banner is kind of interesting too. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he's-
incredibly
yeah.
powerful, but there's a duality to him.
Yeah,
it's a
he's the whole
something in Clyde or
Bonnie,
Dr. Hyde.
Dr. Jekyll,
Jekyll
and
and Mr. Hyde. Yep.
Well, it's also like here are the superheroes I like from Marvel personally. I like Spider-Man. I like the Punisher. I like Deadpool. And that's really it when it
Yeah.
comes to like the most notable ones that people will know right away.
Right.
Because there's a bunch I like that are like never talked about.
Yeah.
But you want to know the reason why? They're fucking human beings at the end of the day.
Right.
Like they still have feelings. They still have emotions. They still have stuff
They're not-
other than just being a hero.
Yeah, like I'm just a blank slate. Like
Like-
I don't like Captain America.
Like
honestly.
I wanted to make a superhero.
I like Captain America when he was fighting Vietnamese for America because that shit was funny because it was just so out there for him. Now
Yeah.
he's just like a general everyman who's like a good guy.
I'm just a big superhero.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I'm gonna
good.
save the world.
But no, I wanted to create a superhero with the intention of him just being like a dude, right? Like he's this mute dude that's going to college, and like the whole idea was that he was just kind of like strong and just in his free time would do this.
So
right?
One Punch Man.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of, I guess.
That's-
He's not as powerful though. Like he's not like a god.
So
So
what,
you
Kick-Ass-
want to
or
know
no, it's
something?
not
There already
Kick-Ass.
is one.
Yeah, I was
like
gonna
that.
say. I know there's one out there. I
There's one in there in the Marvel universe that's like that.
Well, it doesn't mean.
But
that
it's
we
not.
can't
He's not popular because he's not fucking God.
right. Yeah.
That's what I'm
Literally,
saying.
that's
I had
what-
this idea of like a short, like a movie where the premise is like basically he's like I don't know where he got these
Fuck?
powers from,
That's
and
you.
like there's
I
a
know,
whole
but I don't have that
corporation
on.
that there's like a
Oh,
corporation
it's tomorrow.
kind of that like
Oh.
what was that?
Amara just messaged me.
Yeah. She
I was like,
messaged me.
I was like, what the fuck?
Okay. So the whole idea was like basically there's someone turning people into superheroes and they just don't understand it, and then they have to like work
So-
together to figure it out and stuff like that.
There's a lot of stuff that has that
But
weird.
I'm
thing.
saying
But I
you can
get what
make
you're
it
going.
interesting.
Yeah, but like instead of it just being like,
We're
oh, I'm just gonna be a
heroes.
superhero. Like,
Right,
I'm gonna
yeah.
put everything aside and be a superhero. He's still a human being first.
Like,
and then
kinda like
superhero
a-
Well,
on the
yeah,
side.
be focusing more
Like
on
a
like that aspect.
grounded superhero
Yeah.
thing.
Where they tried to do with Superman in Smallville.
And part of my idea was like he meets like a bad guy that's using it as like basically like the main hero kind of runs across this group of like rapscallions, thugs, whatever, doing thug things, right?
Doing thug thing.
Thug shit.
But like one of the guys who has powers totally just like is evil. He just like uses it to help these thugs, and then like basically through whatever means they would get like interlocked and have to work together.
Yeah.
And then they'd have like kind of conflicting values a bit and things like that.
Well, it's like how
It sounds generic, but whatever.
No,
Right.
it's actually I love this concept because it's the
it
most
has been
human.
done in a while.
It's the most human concept. That's why I like Deadpool more than I like any. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Because Deadpool, at the end of the day, is still a human guy who just has a healing factor. He's like Wolverine too.
He
Wolverine
can't
I like
die,
a
but he
lot.
has his own struggles. Like he actually like he loves the woman he's with and things like that. Like he has these actual legitimate struggles.
In the comics, he meets a girl that's gonna kill herself, and he goes, "You're not gonna kill yourself." She's like, "Well, yeah, I am. I'm literally doing the worst I've ever done. This, that, and the third." And then he's like, "You know what? You're gonna come with me for a while. I'm gonna show you that it isn't that bad." And then he shows her that it isn't that bad. She still is adamant about killing herself.
Right.
And she goes, "Okay, I can't stop you. I'm gonna bring you back to where you were, and I'll let you jump by yourself, so that I know where you will land, and I'll get someone for you immediately." He puts all that aside, drives her to a hospital. She goes, "You fucking lied to me," and he goes, "Of course I lied. Your life is so short. Why would I ever let you do that?"
Right. They give you
It makes
moments.
him human.
Yeah.
It makes him a good person and human.
yeah,
Same with like Spider-Man. Spider-Man's whole thing is that he's human.
Right.
yeah. Actually, he's just like a high schooler who has these powers. And again, that was kind of the concept behind like the hero I created, and it was like there was a bit more to it.
Same with Punisher. Punisher is still a human being at the end of the day. He goes home to his
He puts his
apartment
socks
in
on
Bronx.
1 foot at a time.
He goes back to his home in apartment in Bronx with his neighbor who
Yeah.
gives him cookies. And then his other neighbor who's just a good guy who's like, "Yo, do you want to hang out today?" He's like, "Yeah, sure."
Right.
Like he's a human being above it all. Where like Captain America is not anyone else above it all. He's still Captain America.
He's just like this god essentially.
Yeah.
Who's like,
he's
"I must be
basically just a
good."
god. That's what it is. And that's what I don't like is like when they just tack on that like, all right, new character, fuck it, he's a god, and then just
Yeah.
like then we just write around that. Like
It's the Superman conundrum.
yeah, it's
Where
literally- that's
he
just it.
could have been really interesting to be like a kid who's growing up and learning his powers, but it's just like he has his power and
He's
he has-
invulnerable except
Yeah.
for one thing.
and then it's like that
But
one
even
thing
that
is rare.
one thing was not there initially when
Yeah,
the comics were
no.
made. The whole reason was to give like a break for the comic writers. Like he's in kryptonite, and then they'd get back to him.
Yeah, it's the whole thing of like Superman became too powerful to the point where he's not fun anymore.
I think
Yeah, I
though
agree.
Injustice makes Superman a better character.
Yeah.
hands down.
Because it makes him a freak for power.
right,
He's like, I can make it so there is no more villains ever, and if you're against me, you're a villain now.
right. Yeah.
Are you gonna stop me? Fuck no, I'm Superman.
Yeah.
You're not gonna fucking stop me.
exactly?
And that's a cool character trait to Superman.
Yeah,
Right,
because he
instead of
would
just
be
like,
he
I'm-
would be a fucking power freak.
Yeah, he would. He straight up would be in the real world. He would.
He would literally go around the world just trying to catch every bad guy who even thought about doing something bad.
Yeah.
Because he can do that. Because apparently, at least in the movie world, he can do that. But
Yeah, straight up because he's as fast as the Flash.
But in the comics, he's not. And the whole point, the science behind the Flash is literally like, if he ran as fast as he could on the Earth, he would destroy everything.
Mm-hmm.
He would fucking create nukes everywhere he walked.
Right.
But the fact that he has the ability to manipulate time and manipulate physics means that he can do that at such a speed and still be fine. Superman doesn't have that. And when Superman tries to race him, he fucking destroys the world. Because he doesn't have that ability. He's just a guy who could go really fast.
Yeah.
Superman would fucking kill us because if he went fast enough to turn the rotation of the Earth back, the Earth would fucking explode. How fast he's going.
Yeah.
If you put
it
logic
would
to why
crumble.
Superman's a fucking asshole, he's a fucking asshole because, for one, there are earlier comics where he just abuses a child. There's a few. He has a sidekick
Ooh.
/ son. It's supposed to be he's like, you're my father, Batman. It's like a little cousin to his love interest or whatever.
Okay.
And he's like, I want to be around Superman. And Superman's like, you're such a good person. I want to learn from you. He fucking brings him to Mars without water and drops him on there and goes, you're gonna live here for a while. And he fucking flies back to Earth. He fucking abused the shit out of this kid.
Why?
That's
Because it's funny. Because it's so funny that Superman's an asshole.
Okay, so I think moral of the story: Superman's an asshole.
Superman sucks.
And speaking of assholes, let's finish this off with.
No, I want to have one more conversation.
Okay.
Before then.
Well, we'll do
I
one.
want to talk about the Borderlands thing.
Okay,
Okay.
We'll have one more conversation because.
Fine, I guess my segment was.
Yeah, no,
No,
F
we're gonna
You'll get it.
we're gonna go
We'll
back
get
to you
there,
and you're gonna do it again.
I have some pretty good ones lined up, by the way. I've been saving
Oh my
them.
god, I'm so excited for this segment.
Okay.
Borderlands.
Yeah. This is something.
Uh-oh.
Apparently, the CEO of Borderlands is it starting to. Okay, so take the screw and like turn it. The screw. There's a. Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
This way.
Okay, mic issues right now.
Turn it more. Like
Oh, there you go.
It literally won't go any further.
There you go. It's holding
no.
like that.
Is it the right way?
Yeah, I'm turning it.
You're doing something wrong.
No, I'm turning it right.
Oh my god.
It's there. It's just gonna stay like that.
Stay like that
Okay.
for a minute. We can
Anyways,
finish up.
the point is,
The
CEO. Of
I don't know if the
Randy-
mic's pointing at my mouth though.
just talk a little louder.
Just turn the whole thing, darn it.
Or just hold it against your mouth.
Oh, there we go. Okay,
Yeah,
there we go.
perfect.
Okay.
so
Okay, so do you want me to do it or you want you to do it?
I'll do it.
Okay.
The CEO of Borderlands basically says that he thinks that Steam is a dying platform that will die within the next 5 to 10 years.
That's a reasonable thought, but does he have any proof to back it up? Though?
No.
He says that Epic Game Store is like helping destroy the monopoly that is Steam. And he says you can't get us on Steam and that's a good thing.
Well, that's like saying like, let's say there's 2 Microsoft consoles
Mhm.
and each one runs on Microsoft Live, but then here's another Microsoft console by a split company that runs on Microsoft Super Live. Like, they're both the same thing, but I don't know necessarily. But he doesn't have anything to back that up. He's just saying to break the monopoly.
Monopoly. Yeah.
Monopoly.
But the thing is, it's not even a monopoly. It's literally what people want. People want all your games in one place. They don't have to go to 3, 4, 5 different launchers to
Right.
get to the games. There are games on Uplay I genuinely want to play, and I genuinely just forget about it because when am I going to go to Uplay?
Yeah, because Assassin's Creed is on Uplay.
Yeah, and like I have like Far Cry games that I straight up want to finish, and they're just on Uplay, so I don't even look at them and I don't even think
You
about
can
it.
get them on Steam though.
Yeah, I can, but I'm just saying I'm not going to rebuy them at this point. But then I don't play them because I forget about them.
Yeah.
Right.
And like his thing is that he's like, I think Epic will outpace Steam. He's like, I think the Epic Store will beat Steam.
If it depends on, I would say, besides marketing, like deals. Like if Epic starts banging out deals and they got updates on their shit on their app, it's like, okay, now this is just a Steam thing, but their deals are better. I think over time.
I feel like Steam would easily kick it up. I mean, like people are like, well, what has Steam done lately? It's like, well, they've done everything. I can't think of they're trying to amp their friends list because people are going to Discord. So when things pop up, they try to like work around it. So I don't get the idea of like,
Honestly, what I would see would be what Steam would do different, like more deals, but how far can you go with that?
Steam does so
Right,
many.
yeah, they
it's
do
almost
so many that
impossible
it's like
without just giving
how
games
much-
away for free at that
And they
point.
do it sometimes.
They
I got
do give away
I got
games for
Metro
free.
2033 for free.
Right.
Yeah,
they had a day where it was just free.
Left 4 Dead 2 was just free for a while.
Right.
Like there's just a lot like the thing about what he's saying is fucking preposterous.
I don't think it's gonna happen
Because
in 5
there's
to 10
right now
years.
there's no evidence of.
There's no evidence for one. Steam has been around for like 10 plus years without slowing down.
Right.
The IPs they have under their belt waiting for a moment, which are Left 4 Dead 3, Half-Life 3, and their other games that they just kind of brought
Portal
up and then
3
just
and things
stopped.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Portal 3, and they just kind of hold on to. If anything even had a chance of beating them, it would be because their IPs are better.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
I agree. I don't know. I like.
'Cause-
It's just every store is so ridiculously far behind in comparison to Steam. Steam has so many features in comparison to like the Epic Store, like all.
Well,
these
I
stores that
think
pop up.
I don't think Steam has something that's bar and beyond. I just think they have bar level stuff. Like compared to Xbox's the UI and probably PlayStation's UI. I mean, not Nintendo Switch. They got to up some more stuff, but like it's stuff is arranged differently. But I'm getting the same outcome as if I was on Steam or on Xbox. Like,
What do you mean?
like, well, just like, okay, give me an example. That's something that Steam has done recently that was fucking outstanding.
That was outstanding.
Besides deals.
Besides deals, that's a
The way the friends list work is kind of impressive. In
yeah.
which,
They're starting to up the friends list and stuff like that.
what-
a lot of
what were they
a lot
changing?
of they've changed like how the friends list even works and like accepting friend requests and all this.
Also, I
Because they
don't-
used to have to bring it to like a whole different menu, which is kind of absurd that you would be brought to a different menu to decline or accept friend requests. They changed it now, so there's a menu in the menu already. That's just like
So,
you,
so kind of like a pop. What the fuck was that?
that was
Was that like a cough
I
sneeze?
farted too and laughed.
What the fuck?
Until they caught my throat. I'm trying really hard not to cough. And then I laughed and farted.
Okay. I was just gonna say, so you know how in I know in PlayStation does this. On Xbox, when you want to accept a friend request, you click on the friend request and then it brings you to a different menu to accept it.
Yeah, like, well, like if okay, so like let's say I'm playing a game and then it pops up like this person wants to be your friend. I would hold the home button, and then it brings me to the menu, and then I decide accept or not.
But yeah, see that's where Steam is doing a little bit better. In which when that happens, you could just click on it and it says yes or no, and then you click yes or no if you want them or not.
So wait,
Yeah.
and it's still in the same
does it
exact
open-
thing. It doesn't open anything. It's just like you have now received a friend request. You're like, okay, click on it. It's still right here. You're still in the same place, and you go yes, no, and it's like trying to make it more seamless that you're just going.
And
done.
part of it, something that Steam does really well is the guides. I would say achievements are really nice. The fact that like you can level up your profile, I think is a really cool idea where you can
We can do that
add.
with Xbox and
Yeah.
PlayStation too.
Yeah, can you up like?
Yeah, you can level up your profile. Mine is level
On-
14.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because then you get more feature, like not more features that were like hide behind walls, but you get to show more and things
Yeah.
like that. I think that's kind of neat. Yeah, again like the guides and things, but I'm just saying like, yeah, you say like, well, what could they do better, or what have they done outstandingly? But it's like, what could they do better?
Yeah,
Like, well, I mean,
well,
it's
like,
obviously they got stuff more simplified. Like with Xbox, for example, just for accepting the friend request, you just hold that, brings it to a prompt, yes, no, that's it.
yeah,
Okay,
same
which
with
is
Plus.
good.
But
Yeah.
now they're even simplifying that to where you don't need to go to a different place. It's still in the same thing.
Well, I mean,
that you
also
started.
like
I know
don't
that's
I don't
not
know
that's
how
not
you could
much,
change it
but
on a console too. That's another like with PC. It's just like because you have so many windows, and then you're navigating with a mouse. With this, it's like you
Just
have to
buttons.
you have to like select each spot to go over there. With PCs, it's obviously just like all right.
also on top of it, another thing that Steam does really well is that, like he was saying with guides, Steam has integrated guides and has good integration with a lot of things. Steam has its own web browser in its own
Yeah,
thing.
that's really nice.
So then it won't tag you out of your game, won't tab you. You just you open up a guide, you hit shift tab, opens up that. You can have guides here, your friend requests here, this here, and this here. And then you can open up a browser and it keeps you in that same screen. It doesn't bring you out of your game to do this. It has a lot of really good integration. It's just you don't really notice it when you really think
Right.
about it.
But then you go to other stores and that stuff is just gone.
Yeah.
There's no achievements on the Epic Store. There's no game guides on the Epic Store. I don't believe that there's a user rating system on the
There is
Epic
not.
Store.
At least
I
not
don't
at this
I don't
moment.
believe that there is like, oh gosh, I have to look at the Steam UI, but there's a ton of stuff that I always see, communities, things like that. Like that's just all missing.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm
It-
saying like if you want to introduce a new UI, you have to have what Steam does and does better. You can't just release a base game launcher and be like, this is going to beat Steam.
This is-
when it
yeah.
has
Well, I-
1/10 of the
I think what it's
features.
going to turn out to be is just going to be with Xbox and PlayStation. That's literally what it's going to come to. Not one's going to be better, not one's going to be worse. It's literally going to be eventually
Exclusivities.
Epic's just going to like, okay, they got this. All right, we got this, we got this, we got this now. They're at the same. Now it's just going to be price points like we're cheaper here, we're more expensive here.
Well, a big part of like but
really
the
what it's
thing
gonna
is,
come down to.
Steam adapts immediately when stuff like that happens. A good example is the fact that Discord started doing the like, well, we give our sellers a better deal, whereas we take a smaller portion of the profit than Steam does. Then, well, Steam's like, well, that's one game store that's doing that, whatever. As soon as Epic did it, they completely reamped how their system works, where they take smaller or they take bigger cuts like based on like different things, and there's different aspects, so they're not taking the same cut from everyone, so that you have a better chance to make more money off your stuff.
Right.
Which is a good system. Immediately as soon as they were challenged, they were like, okay, we're going to do that then.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, that's
Steam
they're
is great at
incredibly
adapting.
adaptive.
that's also business too.
Yeah.
That's
But that's kind of where this boils down to. It's like what does this have that this doesn't? And Steam has so much right now that you can't really say like, oh, this will get killed at some point. It's not. It's straight up not.
And
it's
I
like how
think-
people thought Nintendo would die when Sega was going to release the Dreamcast.
right.
It wasn't fucking going to happen, clearly, but people thought it
Right.
because they were like, oh, it's a new console, it's a new IP. They're going to lose and finally have to stop being the king of this.
Right.
No.
And it clearly didn't work. Like
Right.
same with why Sony did so well is because they moved over to discs
Yeah.
versus cartridges, which means they could put higher polygon games with sound.
Because
and
at the
it sounds
time, the
good.
discs were just better than the cartridges.
and they were trying, and they
You mean when Nintendo swapped over from cartridges to discs?
no, I'm talking about when
Sony
PlayStation
did it ahead of time, which
Yeah,
made
because the
them
whole
the
point-
selling
wait,
factor.
Well, the whole
Of
point
course.
was that Nintendo 64 was going to be a disc-based system,
Well, it was also going to have a disc-based feature.
Yeah.
and that's why they were going to do it. Is because the cartridges couldn't hold enough for
Right.
like because a lot of if you go back and
But
play like
that's
Banjo
not that's Nintendo. What Nintendo?
no, but
or-
Nintendo was enlisting them to do it, so
Right,
then that
and
was going to
then-
be their thing. But then Sony went, I could do this.
no,
I can
so,
make
no.
us-
Nintendo did something else behind Sony's back, and then Sony took what they had.
Yeah, and they still went
Which is
off and did it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
that's
saying. Is
understandable.
they went off and did it on their own and did it
But
better.
that's what made Sony like an
A
outlier
contender.
and a good contender was the fact that they kept up with the times. Again, like Steam.
Right.
Like you came out with a system that worked better. Steam gets challenged and Steam upgrades to adapt. Discord came along. What does Steam do? They try revamping and making their friends list more viable.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna throw some like compare the apples to oranges with Nintendo though, like Nintendo doesn't focus on.
No, that was just an example.
Well, okay,
of,
I was
like,
gonna say 'cause,
yeah.
like Nintendo's
because
like
that was
they don't
like
give a
that was
fuck.
them trying. That was like how the Dreamcast was a disc-based system,
Right.
and they tried to do what Sony did to try and adapt. They failed because they put so much money into something that wasn't important.
Right.
They just tried to
Wasn't
make the
ready yet.
disc system. Oh, it's discs. You can have this and this. They had no IPs.
Right.
Where
Yeah.
Sony had IPs lined up.
And like another thing with Steam is the fact that like how many like if someone's like, oh, I'm gonna start, should I go to Epic or Steam? Everybody's going to go to Steam. That's where I am. That's where all my games are. They have too big of a heads up runner up. It'd basically be like if the PS4 got to where it was now and Nintendo's like, and now introducing to compete with Sony, Sony, the GameCube. It's so out of date. Yeah, it's a contender, and yeah, it's portable. It's got small discs. That's nice.
Well, I don't
It's got
think
memory
they- well,
cards.
like,
That's kind of cool.
They weren't
But-
shooting for.
No, that's what he's saying though.
But
That's
if
what
they were to advertise it as that,
Yeah, that's what
okay,
they're
That's
okay.
but that's what Epic is doing. It's like we're a new awesome store, but it's like yeah, but do you have this, or this? Like Steam, you don't.
It's
What's
a-
the point?
Also,
but
here's
also-
another thing you need to think about. Where are your friends in this? Do you play?
Steam.
You play on Xbox, right? Your friends are on Xbox, and you're moving over slowly to PC.
Yeah.
Because your friends are starting to move over to PC too. That's where you should lie when it comes to things. Because guess what? The only thing you had on PC for a long time was Steam.
But also
So all
with-
your friends already know what Steam
But
is
with
and will
Steam
stick
though,
with
you're
Steam.
granted you're not. There's no party chat functions with Steam.
There is now.
There is.
Oh, they added that.
They
now?
adapted it. That's what
That's
I'm
what
saying.
he's saying.
Oh wow, that took them a while. I was just gonna say.
But I'm saying as soon
Well,
as
I
a
mean,
big
well, don't
contender
forget-
like Discord came out, they're like, now we have to.
Now we. Well, okay.
Well,
I
but
guess
like,
it's
why-
a
but also,
crappy
I was gonna
attitude.
say though, it's like most people they don't like. Okay, here's another thing too: is that let's say I have you guys play on Steam, I'll go play on Epic. We both play in the same game. Well, we could still play together. Like
Nope.
there-
Some games don't have that.
they-
Some
they
games
don't
just straight up
have-
don't have crossplay like that.
Yeah.
So
that's
so
why
wait,
it's a
so-
problem.
So Epic's is.
That's
on,
why it's a problem.
Oh,
It's
I
not
didn't
a
know
problem.
that Epic was on their own.
I would say that also.
They have their own servers. They have their own IPs.
Right, I
They have
didn't-
all
But
that shit.
I didn't know they had the-
I would argue he is correct in that though, because you can just straight up link your Epic and Steam together.
But
it's still a pain
that's
to
not
have
what he's
two
saying.
launchers.
That's
Well-
not what he's saying. He's saying that you could just play as if, oh, if it's on Epic and it's on Steam, you could just crossplay right naturally. No, that's not how it works for them because they don't have crossplay like that. Because that's the whole point is that they're supposed to be their own separate things. That's why people are upset about it.
Okay, I didn't know
Because
what
it
that
should have
aspect-
been. Because it should, if it's on Steam, you can play with everyone who's on Steam. But Epic might not want you to play with people on Steam.
As a point of being like, well, your friends are here, don't get it on Steam, get it on here, because otherwise you're not gonna be able to play with them. It's kind of
Yeah.
it can be used as a bargaining chip, which is really crappy.
And that's why I bring up the you play on Xbox, I play on PlayStation, you play on PC. Here's the thing: my friends mostly play on PS4.
Right.
I love it because that's where my friends are, and I will stick with PS4. Your friends play on Xbox. You're gonna stick to Xbox because that's where your friends play. You're gonna stick to PC because that's where your friends play. Why would I want to switch to fucking Epic where I don't know anyone and my friends won't switch to Epic because they have a thing they already like?
Yeah, there's no reason to go to Epic. No one who starts a new account is going to be like, "Oh, I should get my games through Epic."
Yeah, they're gonna be like, "What about Steam? There's deals on Steam because that's what Steam is known for."
I would also argue that probably Epic has the best chance of competing with Steam, but I don't think it's going to kill Steam.
Yeah,
in the next 5 to
they
10
have
years.
the funding though. That's another thing too. That
They do because they have the
Steam
Unreal
has had
engine.
funding for 10 years. That's the difference.
right, but they didn't have to worry about competition that had their same funding that they have. Well,
It doesn't
obviously
have
not
the same funding.
but this.
Well, Unreal. It might because of the fact that Epic owns the Unreal engine. A lot of games are made.
and, yeah,
through that.
Unreal,
Yeah, that's
Fortnite
the
with
only-
all that shit, like all
but
that
they
shit
still
that's
don't have
stacking up.
Steam funding. Steam funding is absurd.
It is absurd. Gabe
Right.
Newell is worth $3 billion.
Right,
Yeah.
Straight up.
But still, nonetheless,
and that's
is
only
that
him.
They didn't have to worry
And then
about.
there's a source engine that he owns that a lot of games use, and this and this and this.
I
It's
don't
the
know,
same deal.
What
It's literally
games
the same
outside
thing.
of Valve games though use the Source engine?
A lot of games do actually.
Really?
A lot of PC games use a source engine.
I don't know about that. I don't care for the source engine.
Source engine, like,
At
of course
the
they're.
time.
Of course, no, it's still a good engine because they're
I don't
updating
think about
it.
that.
They
That's
still have Source
that's
Engine, Source
vanilla.
Engine 2, and then they're starting.
What source
they
engine are
upgrade
you
it.
thinking of? Because there's 4. Like how there's 4 Unreal.
I don't know those four, so that's a problem.
That's my thing. Because they keep naming it the same thing. Because why would you keep the same engine for fucking years? That's because Unreal Engine
Here.
has demos for Unreal. Because that's the whole point. Because it was a game first. That's why it's named Unreal.
Vampires: The Masquerade, Bloodlines, Sin Episodes, Dark Messiah. Blah, blah, blah. These are games that were made with the Source Engine that are not made by Valve.
A lot of games use it.
Let me look. Postal 3.
Postal 2 as well.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Titanfall.
Titanfall uses it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Oh, that's right. Titanfall. Yeah, I remember that.
It
now.
uses
The logo
1
at the
and
start.
2. 1 and 2 use it.
Those two use it.
I believe 2 uses it.
Look that up.
Yeah, Titanfall 2 also has it, but it says highly modified. Apex Legends
gonna
also
say.
has it.
Yep. You see what I mean? It's an engine you don't know about because they don't advertise it. Unreal
Right.
does.
There's not a whole lot of games under it,
Well, I
though.
think with
There's like
Unreal,
maybe
though, it's
20,
like-
30
it's fucking-
max.
But they're the games that sell like fucking hotcakes every
That's
time.
true, though. Titanfall 2, and Apex are doing amazing right
Well,
now.
right, but also, I mean, compared to though, like with Unreal, though, you can tell the difference.
Well, Unreal is also
between-
optimized for consoles too.
Well, and
there's the
also-
difference.
Well, and also PC shit too.
But that's what I'm saying.
What's the
Source
deal,
is
Phil?
optimized for PC. It's not optimized for consoles because they tried it and it didn't work.
Oh my God, shut him up.
I'm petting him. He needs love.
No, that's making fucking.
He's a good cat.
Just let him be.
No,
And
if you give him
what I'm
love
saying,
long
is
enough, look,
that,
he stops.
The reason why the Source even worked on like on Titanfall and Titanfall 2 is because they modified it to make it work, like helping people modify Unreal 4, Unreal 3. That's exactly the same thing. It's a baseline to work with that people are comfortable with. And the fact that Unreal is optimized for consoles helps it along a lot. Because if it wasn't optimized for consoles for like Fortnite, it would have fucking not done well.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's really silly to be like in the next
It's
5 or
gonna
10 years,
kill it.
despite the
No.
fact that Steam has been the number 1 contender, completely uncontested, even with Epic now. And I think he's just salty about the review bombing. I think
Yeah,
that's honestly
that's
a big
also
part
a
of
big
it.
thing.
Because once they announced that Borderlands 3 was going to be an Epic exclusive, he was like, well, good. Because people started review bombing the games on Steam, which is not right? I don't agree with that at all. But he was like, well, good. Maybe we won't bring it to Steam then and stuff like that. Like, it's like, why though?
It's also because, don't forget, these are people who have been waiting on one platform for 10 years for Borderlands 3 to come out. And can you imagine if you waited 10 years for something and they just went, fuck you, let's go somewhere else?
Yeah, I agree.
That's why people were upset. I don't agree with them. That's fucking stupid. Don't review.
But they're not buying a brand new console to run Epic.
But
like-
it's still a pain in the
That's-
butt to have to go
what
through
that-
a
I don't
second
think
launcher.
What that have
That-
to do with anything? What do you mean?
It's not a big like. For me, it's like, well, so the fuck what? Like all I have
No,
to
that's
do
what
is just
that's
click
what a lot of
here.
people see. is
I like
so the
having
fuck
one
what?
library. I
It's-
don't have to go through 30 different libraries. Be like, which game did I buy this on? What store did I buy this on?
That's
I have to
where, like-
waste my time.
Or you could just have quick links on a PC. That's literally what a PC is designed for, is having like quick access points. When you click on that window screen on mine, I pull up all my games. I don't, when I click on it, it doesn't open up. Well,
Here's
it'll
the
open
thing.
up Steam.
Here's the
click
thing.
play.
It always makes a shortcut on your desktop. It will launch that launcher for you on that game if you do it like that. That's completely. If you have problems with that and you think you need to open up the Epic launcher every time, you double click on a game that uses a certain launcher. It will launch the launcher, launch the game, sign you in, and then you won't need to worry about it. It's literally the same for every fucking thing.
Right.
It's just people are throwing a fucking hissy fit because it's on something they don't recognize because it's new. And I don't like that personally, but I get it.
I don't
Imagine-
think. I just don't. I think Epic Games needs to up their thing before I even give it a
Yeah,
second look.
like that's also a thing. It's too new.
Straight up.
They're
They
like,
need more
they're a
features.
newborn child going against a 28-year-old grown man.
Yeah.
Who could stomp their skull in at any moment.
But you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have introduced this. It's like giving. It's like Steam came out. They gave it a job.
Well, it's all.
And then you have a 28-year or 28-week-old baby, and now you're giving it the same job as that man.
Yeah.
It's
but
like
also,
it's
here's
not gonna
another
work.
thing too. It's like us console guys, we had this ordeal longer than you PC guys. When the 360 came out,
And then the PS3 came out.
the PS3,
I know,
people were
I
pissed
bet.
off. Like, I got to get a new console just to play this Halo 3. All right, I'll get an Xbox 360.
But here's the thing: they're so used to PC is so used to being so convenient in one place that the fact they have to change.
Right,
the
I know.
They're
it's- so
fighting it ahead of time, so it doesn't hit that point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me. Like, that's
Like
my
like
thing
I
for
get
me.
it.
It's
Like same. It's like I wanted to play Halo growing up, but I didn't because I wanted to have my friends were on PS3. That's how it works.
right.
You choose where you want to go when you choose your console. If you have enough money to get both, that's okay. But most people don't. With PC, it's a free fucking launcher.
Yeah, I was just. That
It's
was
a
my
free
other thing.
launcher.
It's like,
The only thing you pay for is the game. And if you don't want to play it on that, it will be released for Steam. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah,
But
well,
what if they decide against it? What if the CEO's like,
They will not. Because guess what?
fuck
That's too
no.
much money on the table
yeah,
for them to
they
not
are.
do it.
That'd be
That's true.
limiting their market like hard.
And then
Yeah,
they're
I
gonna
agree.
fucking kneecap their sales of one of their most popular games because one of them has a hissy fit about fucking some
They're
dumb
probably
shit.
gonna do like, it'll be out a month earlier on Epic than it would be on Steam.
it's like 6 months at this point. but
Yeah, it's 6 months.
It's still a long time, but I don't plan on buying it on Epic.
I'll buy it
just
on
waiting
Epic and play it. And if it's a shit game, I'm not gonna buy it again. I'm not
Right.
because again, probably when it launches on Steam, it's probably gonna be half price when it launches.
I don't think so. I think
That's
Yeah.
how they
full
do it
price.
usually. If they have a release like that, they'll have it at a way discounted price as soon as it launches. Because guess what? It's already been out long enough for it to have a
Yeah,
different place.
That's fair.
Right.
It's just, I don't doubt that they will just straight up say, fuck it. It's going on both anyway. It's just going to go on one earlier.
Yeah, it's fucking. That's
Just
console guys been having that for
I'm not.
years.
I'm saying we're trying to prevent it from getting to that point.
No, there's no stopping it. There's no stopping. Like it's a
Well,
market.
no, there
for
is
it.
stopping it actually. Because it's a
If we
fucking
straight up don't
launcher
use
that
Epic-
will probably die within 5 years. Because if Epic doesn't adapt as much as Steam does, it won't last as long.
There's no
because guess
reason to
what?
use it.
Origin launched how long ago? It's still the same fucking Origin I saw 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's
And
still
it's
a dead
still
launcher.
It's still fucking
Yeah.
bad. And guess what? No one goes, I want to go buy a game on Origin.
The only one
They
that
go,
I could
"Can buy
argue
it on
was
Steam?"
good. The only competition I could really argue for Steam would be GOG, but even then, that's not a
That's not a competitor.
completely separate market because of the fact that they sell games that aren't in production anymore that used to be on CD. That's GOG's thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Steam doesn't do that. That's okay because you have GOG, and GOG typically gives you DRM free versions of it, anyways.
Yeah. Which is important.
Yeah,
Because it's a different market. It's different with like
you are so empathetic to this like not
Come
empathetic
here.
towards anything. You're apathetic.
me.
That's what I'm looking for. Him
Leave
towards
the
this
fuck
whole
down.
ordeal. It's kind of funny.
What?
Well, it's because it doesn't.
You're
it
like
doesn't
I've dealt
affect-
with this, so you're so apathetic towards the struggle.
Well, it's because he doesn't play Borderlands really,
That's
and
understandable.
that's what it is. It's like me and you are Borderlands fans.
Yeah.
one of us more than the other, and it's like because
I'm still a big fan regardless.
I'm
though.
a
That's what
fucking
makes-
huge fan too. It's just
Yeah.
like this is our problem for us. It's not for him because it's like what does he care?
That's fair.
And that's
Yeah,
kind of the
it's like-
thing. It's like if anyone talked to us about Fortnite, we'd be like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, so the fuck
Who
what?
cares? like,
Okay.
Like, oh no, what a bunch of assholes.
oh, it's almost like it's time for something.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we
Yeah.
go. So this
Wait,
is
let him say it.
okay.
What? Just a bunch of assholes, you know, maybe we could segment into our Am I the asshole?
My asshole. Yeah.
That's a turning point. That was horrible. Just fucking go.
This
Yeah.
was from 4 days ago.
It was 4 days ago.
Am I the a-hole for getting angry at my sister for destroying the Minecraft world I
Hold on,
built
so
with
real,
my
real quick,
kids?
real quick. We're doing 3 of these.
3?
3.
Okay,
How
I
many
know
do
which
you
one I
have?
want to end on to.
How many do you have?
I have a list.
Yeah, we'll only do like 3 an episode.
Yeah, we'll do 3.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
am I the a-hole for getting angry at my sister for destroying the Minecraft world I built with my kids?
Is there background?
We
to
play
that?
Minecraft. I'm a grown woman and I play Minecraft with and without my kids. I build spectacular things. It's usually my son who's 6, and my nephew, 7, and me. We joined together. We played for sometimes hours at a time while we were connected by FaceTime. We recently built an entire world. I mapped it all. We have towns, we have mansions, we have transportation systems, farms, stores, everything. It's a big deal. We recently talked to my sister into joining along with her son and playing with us as well. The first time we played with her, she accidentally burned down a house we were all 3 building together. No big deal. It was an accident. I turned off the feature that allows the fire to spread, but never told her or the kids about it, so there's no excuse for what happened. She can't. Oh wait. But never told her or the kids about it, so it isn't an excuse for what happened. She can't say that she didn't know fire spreads because after the first incident, with both boys screaming in panic that their base was burning down, she knew what could happen. I eventually had to do some tree clearing and turn the fire spreads option back on, and apparently forgot to turn it back off because today my sister joined the game and burned down the whole city as she jokingly laughed maniacally on FaceTime. The boys were begging her to stop, and she was just laughing and burning. We spent a lot of time talking about how much time and effort I put into this game, so she was aware she was being mean, but she said she thought it would be funny. She also said she didn't anticipate the entire pirate-themed town we were in was made out of wood, and that the fire would spread to every building and railway and destroy 100 hours of build time. I can't help but be angry and so frustrated. I know it's just a game, but it's also a whole big chunk of my time, creative energy that she destroyed because of a joke. And she also really upset my son and her own son and taught them what I think was a really terrible lesson. So should I let it go? Am I the a-hole for being angry with my sister to destroy my Minecraft world? She told me to grow up and that if I had that much time on my hands, maybe I should get a job. I hung up on her, haven't answered her calls or texts for days.
Okay, so I'm going to go first on this one.
Yep.
I think when so we have to base this off of evidence that they give us.
Yes.
You can't speculate.
Okay,
The fact that she added the part that she spent a lot of time, it's obvious that this has some kind of sentimental value.
well,
Of course.
it's with her son, and her 7-year-old nephew.
Okay.
And they were crying and screaming. while it
Right.
was
So then
burning
the
down.
other thing is, I think her sister's just an idiot. She's an ass, but I don't think she's a whole. She's an idiot because it's obviously this person doesn't understand. Like,
I don't know if that gives you a right to be a dick just because you
I
don't
might
understand.
sway both of your opinions on this.
what do you think?
She's a fucking asshole. You know why? Clearly, they were very upset by this.
Oh yeah.
Are you gonna laugh at
agree.
a? Are you gonna laugh at a kid while
I-
they're upset? Do you see a kid crying on the street and go, "Ah, you fucking idiot!
Yeah,
good job,
she
you
was
out here."
totally laughing at
She's
what-
a fucking
yeah.
asshole.
Oh, yeah,
She's a total asshole. She is a total hole.
Because for okay,
because then that
laughing
means
at-
she knew that something was wrong, and then the kids were like, "Please stop,"
And then she
she went,
did it again.
No, that's what a
Right.
fucking childhood bully does.
Yeah.
And she clearly fucking thinks that's because don't get me wrong, it is a game.
Yeah,
It's a game. But when
It has that connection, that
but when
value
it's like
behind it.
3 people are playing together, and then you just walk like let's imagine seeing 3 people playing in a sandcastle and going in a sandpit and go, "Hey, can I play with you?" "Yeah, come on, come play. We
Right.
definitely want you." And then you just kick over their sandcastle and go, "Ha ha ha! You put a bunch of
Right.
time into this. Ha ha!
Yeah,
It's
get-
broken."
But
It's
the
like,
question is, am I the asshole for getting mad with her?
No.
no, you have every right. Because guess what? It would be different if it was like it actually is not different at all. Because imagine you're making a puzzle with your kids, you and 2 other people.
Yeah.
And then they destroyed the puzzle.
And then
laughed.
someone walked in the room, threw the whole puzzle on the ground, and laughed.
Right. Yeah.
It's literally the same idea.
Right.
It's for a video game.
It
And
would-
that's where I think she thinks that she's okay by doing that because it's a video game. Whoa.
Right.
Also, another thing is she could have backed up the world at some point, but why would you expect someone that you care about
Yeah.
to walk in and fucking destroy the
that
whole
was
thing?
something someone said is like think about considering like backing up your world.
But why should they?
Right. They would never cross their mind. And another thing too is if she didn't have the part of like this is something that we've been building off of, if they just started a new world, like kind of how I do.
Yeah,
and then
like-
they burned down some stuff, but
Yeah,
it's
like that-
hundreds of hours apparently.
Yeah, but when it's one big one, yeah, then okay. So I think verdict on that one is she's an asshole.
Total
So-
asshole.
because this is about the
aunt-
girl
the-
herself.
oh yeah, that's right.
The girl is not
girl's
an asshole for
the
being
asshole.
mad.
Yeah, not the asshole. You may want to explain to her
Yep.
that perhaps to you it's a game, but to a 6 and 7-year-old, this is a significant part of their existence that she destroyed and laughed at while doing. And then someone else said, "Not the a-hole. Your sister sounds like a psychopath who does that while her kids are begging them to stop."
It's the fact they beg too.
Yeah.
However, I just noticed that they updated it at the
Oh.
bottom. They gave an
Oh
update.
no.
We are playing Minecraft Pocket Edition, so as long as I prevent my phone from backing up tonight, I think I can restore the whole thing on the new phone I'm getting on Wednesday. I don't want to bother with it since I broke my phone today, and I can't play with this broken glass anyways. It was totally unrelated to the Minecraft misadventure, but I think I can get the world back since it backed up last night. More important update is that apparently just before my sister joined us on my world, she had been playing with the boys by herself, and they destroyed her house with TNT and even killed her dog and all her llamas. My son admitted to it all. She had leave the world to stop their path of destruction. She was trying to teach them a lesson about being bullies and really didn't realize it was going to burn down the whole pirate town. I forgave her, especially after learning what my son had done to his aunt just before the whole thing happened. She does have a twisted sense of humor, and I didn't agree with what she did, but for the record, the boys only screamed and cried during the original accidental burn down of the house. They weren't as upset today as I would have expected, and that made more sense when I found out what had happened just before. Sorry for the typos and punctuation errors. Hard to see through that.
She's still not an asshole.
Not an asshole, but
I don't think so either. And I don't.
It's justifiable, and I think her kids are.
I wish that
it's
was.
kids too.
I wish that was a flare on it because they give a flare to give an ultimate verdict, and that one was the person who was angry was not the asshole. And I feel like the other person was laughing was like genuinely. It seems like given the fact that the kid had blown up her house and killed her animals and things like that, like that's an understandable reaction to kind of be like try to burn it down so that way it's like, well, now you have to rebuild and take this as a lesson not to hurt others.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I could. See,
I feel like that's a justifiable.
But then her reaction is she didn't explain herself.
Yeah. That
and
was
then she immediately just went to the neck for her. Like, you're kind of an asshole anyway for that. Because imagine if one day someone walks in your house, knocks all your shit on the ground, and says, "Oh, you took all this time to decorate. You should have gotten a job and just got more money instead of decorating.
Right.
Fuck yourself." It's
I feel like there was
the fact she
something
went for the
uncalled
neck is really fucking foretelling about what she's like.
I would say she's not as big of an a-hole as previously expected, but she's still an a-hole.
Still an a-hole.
Yep.
All right.
Not the main girl, but the sister.
Yeah.
I like this one. Am I the a-hole for taking out a payday loan so I can go to LVLUP Expo, so Level Up Expo, and get my cosplay done right? My parents are furious with me to the point of cutting me off. I'm using a throwaway since I am a moderator on several of the subs that have to do with my hobby of cosplay, anime, and hentai. This is one of those things where I see myself as being 80% right, but I want to be fair because I honestly I depend on my parents for a lot of stuff. Rent, tuition, food, car insurance. I'm huge into cosplay and gaming. It's been my dream to go to a big convention in my cosplay. A friend suggested we go up to Level Up since it has everything we like. The badges aren't super expensive, but we decided we wanted to super splurge on accommodations, so maybe we could host parties in our room. So the total cost of my trip, including everything, airfare, room, estimate for food, badge, is about $3,500. I had $2,000 I was supposed to pay towards my credit card. But I decide to get the rest, I would get a payday loan. This was back in March, so the trip was all paid for. I wanted to keep it a secret from my parents, but I accidentally missed my first payment to the payday loan. And for some God knows how reason, the people at the payday loan place did a search for my name since I was ducking their calls until I could borrow some money from a friend, and they called my parents' home number looking for me. I can't even imagine this is legal. So here's the deal. I'm so dense that I don't understand I messed up. I mean, I know that I need to pay my debts, but here's the deal. I mean, I'm only in college once, and I only get to do things like level up while I'm young. I also think this was a very normal mistake, and my parents should give me enough room to make mistakes and learn from that. But my parents are freaking the hell out. My dad has basically said that this is it, that after the credit card debt and my grades, and now the payday loan and missing a payment, I haven't shown a level of responsibility that he can't trust me anymore, and I either move home to go to community college and work for his company, or he cuts me off for good. As harsh as that was, my mom was even worse, and she literally screamed at me like cussing names and told me that she didn't raise me like this, that I was acting like a spoiled Instagram asshole. Edit, just for clarification, I'm 20 years old female. Like I said, I know I messed up, but am I really the asshole?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I want to take this one. Let me take this one, then you get
Okay.
we'll switch who takes it first.
Okay.
Yes to the fucking asshole.
Yeah.
You goddamn kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, I only could do this while I'm young. Motherfucker, you could do it.
20.
You could do this at any age.
Also, side note, a payday loan is a big thing with enormous interest. It's not a normal loan. It's a loan shark place.
It's a loan that's based on your fucking income. It's not based on just fucking getting a loan. It's not like a bank loan. A bank loan won't have as much interest as a fucking payday loan.
Right.
A payday loan goes against what you earn, not what you can actually pay
Not
back.
your credit score.
Nope. It's just
Wow.
like they'll just
They're
give you a
bad.
bunch of,
You do not go to them unless you're literally in shambles and ruins. Like,
Yeah.
Because the interest rates are so ridiculously high. They will give it to anybody.
She's
but
a
then they will
fucking
screw you.
idiot.
She's a dumb asshole who deserves it.
Yeah.
Her family has every right to be pissed. I mean, for one, the thing that really got me was the grades.
Oh yeah, grades.
What?
As soon as she mentioned the grades, like, you're not even doing well in school. You're just like, it seems like you're effing
Yeah, I'm
around.
just,
and
I'm
wasting
just gonna
money.
go to this thing that costs $3,000.
And the fact
'cause
that
I
she
deserve
had
it.
prior credit card debt that she was about to pay off and decided, no, I'm going to leave it so I can do this thing.
No.
And by the way, $2,000 to pay it off. That's
Fuck.
$2,000 of credit card debt.
Fucking
That's
idiot.
a lot. No,
And
how,
I'm 80.
how much,
By the way, 80% right on things. She's not an asshole
Yeah.
for fucking for putting herself $3,000 plus in debt, and then putting her family in debt because they need to pay it off
Yeah.
for her.
no,
Yeah,
You're a
absolutely.
fucking
So wait, so
asshole.
how much did she take out?
She took out $1,500. It sounds like.
Yep.
Okay,
Because that was the total cost of the trip and everything that they
So-
anticipated. She already had $2,000, which was supposed to go towards credit card debt, which she decided to use this and then get a payday loan for that much to get
to bump it up to 3,000.
Yep.
Fucking
Yep.
asshole.
Asshole. You,
Absolutely.
You took your
There's
parents'
no-
money that you were supposed to use for
I don't
something
even know.
important.
I don't even know if it was their parents' money for the debt loan, but regardless,
But regardless,
you're still an asshole.
you're still an asshole. You
I'm
fucked
80%
up.
right. You fucking
As
ass.
soon as you mentioned
No.
grades and like, nope.
You know what she is? Cunt. She's a fucking cunt.
You're the asshole in so many ways, OP. Payday lenders are a disgusting predatory industry that is designed to capitalize on people who literally have no other choice. I've never heard of someone taking out a payday loan and agreeing to the monumental interest rates they provide unless they absolutely need the money right away to keep a roof over their head or to feed their children. Even then, it's a terrible decision that will ultimately blow up in their face. It's such an incredibly horrible deal that you'd have to be really backed into a corner to actually take a payday loan, or so I thought. The thought of taking out a payday loan because you wanted to blow thousands of dollars on a fancy hotel you can't afford for some imaginary anime party you're hoping to have just is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. There's nothing normal about a mistake like that. You're not self-reliant. I'm assuming your parents are funding your education so that you don't have to go into debt. And how are you repaying that generosity? By going into massive debt anyway so you can party instead of focusing on school. I don't blame them one bit. I would cut you off too. You've shown that
Yup.
you have no appreciation for their money or sacrifice, that you fully intend for them to bail you out just of these problems over and over again just because you should be allowed to make mistakes. That kind of reckless, entitled attitude is not going to make anyone inclined to help you out.
Yep. No, that's
Asshole.
Asshole. That's
Actually,
final
let's go
verdict.
one further. Cunt. Fucking cunt.
That's someone who's
You're-
not grateful for
That's
the situation.
It's
that
also
they're
the fact she's 20 years old.
in. Yep.
And she decided that this was okay. That's fucking hilarious. Stop. Just stop moving.
Stop.
Sit down. Stay sat down. I could grab it. What do you mean?
Not anything else.
I can still grab it. It's by
okay.
my
We're
left
good.
arm.
We're good.
Go on.
We're good.
Go on.
Yeah.
You're a cunt. This is above and beyond.
Yeah.
Because again, cunt is it's a word that people hate. I think it's totally justified in this situation.
like-
You're gonna put yourself and,
And
your
your
parents
family
in
into
debt,
That
and then
Because they're
act
going
as
after
if
your
you were
family now.
entitled for that. Also, it's also for a fucking cosplay too.
Yeah.
something that's you can do for
it's
cheap.
not, and it's not even like they want to. It's not even like it's been my
It's the
dream.
last one.
It's like you could get a smaller hotel. You can
Oh,
do
yeah.
it by yourself. You can make your cosplay cheap. It's the fact that they want to go above and beyond and literally hold parties in their hotel.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like we want more money so we can fuck around more.
Yeah.
it's not even I want money just to get there.
no, it sounds like this person doesn't even
Yeah.
have a fucking job.
Yeah.
fucking
We-
scum.
Do not like.
You're the asshole. You need to wake the fuck up. I had a $2,000 I was supposed to pay towards my credit card. You are in college and you have thousands of dollars in credit card debt. This is a fucking catastrophe. You got together some cash instead of using it to pay the debt. You spent on the anime convention while going into even more debt at a goddamn payday loan place. The interest of payday loan outfits is compounded weekly.
Yep, that's why I was saying it's different. It's against what you can earn.
If you don't pay that debt off right fucking now, you're going to have a declare bankruptcy before you finish college. You're acting like a junkie. You've been insanely destructive, and you're doing it for anime. I've shown a level of irresponsibility
Moderator,
that he can't trust me anymore. Accurate. If I were your parent, I would be ashamed that I'd raise someone who'd act this way. You're ruining your life for
It
meaningless
sounds like
shit.
you're really emotional.
No, I
You're
just as I
lying.
talk, my throat gets sore.
Ellen. That's what we
Oh
don't
my
know.
God.
This is the dark side of your relationship. Is Ellen's in a crippling debt?
Yes, your mom pretty much nailed it. You're a spoiled asshole and you're committing financial suicide. Do whatever your parents tell you to do from this point on, and then say thank you for saving them from your idiocracy. And the flair for that was asshole.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
It should be cunt. It should be fucking dumb cunt.
Yeah. That's just
And the last one.
last one.
Oh yay! I love these so much. This time we'll both go at the same time.
Yeah.
We'll both go 3, 2, 1, and we'll say our verdict.
Right. Right.
Am I an asshole for losing my virginity with another guy that was not my ex? So I'm 19 years old. I was dating my ex for almost 2.5 years. It was the best relationship I ever had. The only real point of contention was throughout the relationship. He always asked me if I wanted to have sex, and I always told him I just didn't feel ready. He never pressured me, but I could always tell his disappointment. The most we'd ever did was making out, heavy groping with clothes. Well, 6 days ago, we broke up. He told me that he loved me, but he just didn't feel sexually satisfied, and that he wished me for the best. But he thinks it's best if we see other people. I was obviously distraught. I felt ugly and unwanted, that nobody would ever love me. 3 days after, when I was feeling particularly down, a coworker started hitting on me. I was feeling really low about myself, and he talked about how sexy I was and how my boyfriend was an idiot to break up with me. He suggested that maybe we go to his car. We did, and to make a long story short, we ended up at a park having sex. I just felt like I had lost everything because of this dumb virginity thing, and he made me feel so wanted and beautiful. Well, that night, my ex called me begging for me back. That is, he's okay with waiting and that he loves me. I was so happy, but I felt so guilty. I tried to bring it up subtly. I said we should get tested, and he was insistent that he didn't even kiss another person. But if I really wanted him to, he will. I hinted we should probably get tested together when he said that it was a ridiculous idea, and he knows I'm clean. I admitted to him I was feeling really low and actually did end up hooking up with someone. It looked like his heart was being ripped out of his chest. He was solemn for a bit and told me if you did some heavy petting, I don't think you need to get tested. When I admitted we actually had sex, he turned extremely angry. Let me be clear. I've known this man for 2 years. He's never even cursed when he hits his foot on the bed, so this was completely out of character. He said if all I wanted to do was whore around, then I should have told him a long time ago so he wouldn't have to waste his time with me, and a bunch of other horrible things that makes me sad to repeat. He told me we were over and never to speak to him again, and then he blocked me on everything. He also told all of our mutual friends I wanted to be a hoe and fuck my old creepy coworker a day after we broke up, and that I'm a raging bitch. My mutual friends all sided with him, and nobody wanted to hear that I was just lonely and needed someone, nor would anyone acknowledge that we were broken up at the point and I didn't have obligation for him. My friends' reactions hurt. I lost many of them, and everyone's bullying me. I feel horrendous about the entire thing, but I still don't see how I was in the wrong. He broke up with me, and in my mind, we were done. Am I the asshole for sleeping with another person? So there's some more information that was added in later, but I want to leave it here.
Okay.
We'll count down 3, 2, 1. Then on 1, we'll say.
Okay.
Or after 1.
After 1.
3,
2,
2, 1.
Both
Asshole.
So you're
We
thinking
agree.
everybody's the asshole.
I think.
I actually.
Let me hear my reasoning.
Oh yeah.
I want to
Okay.
hear.
So
Sam
I
first.
think right off the bat, he's an asshole, and she's an asshole for communication. That's one.
Okay.
She isn't an asshole for having sex with another guy because it was obvious she was in a low spot, right?
This is where I will have contention with you, which is good. This is the point.
Yeah.
Okay, so she was in a low spot, right?
Mhm.
She was an unintentional asshole. She should be aware that like
What she did was crappy.
it was crappy, but you could see though that she was trying to make it better. So
Yeah.
obviously she was at a low point, which I can see that. I've seen people who were at low points before. How he reacted, I don't think that was okay.
I think that was
I actually have a really specific thing with this.
I mean, this
It's not a story for me, but this is just the way I think about stuff like this.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's for one an asshole, but for a really specific reason.
Okay.
Clearly, she said she wasn't ready, but then as soon as it was done, she was ready. You fucking kidding me? That's the part that gets me, because it's like, oh, I felt bad, but when you had something you really loved and you didn't want to,
Right.
as soon as you lose that, you're like, now I want to. You fucking serious?
Okay.
That's your fault.
Yeah.
Then it's okay for him to get that angry because, for one, imagine how that looks to him.
Oh yeah.
Someone he really
Oh, yeah.
cares about and wanted to be with intimately just fucking kept telling him no and no and no. And he didn't pressure her. He was like, okay, you're clearly not ready.
Right.
I will not
She
pressure.
put pressured in quotation marks. I don't know if that adds anything
It
to
would
it.
be like that. I'm guessing that means that he wasn't like constantly like, come on, please,
Right,
come
right.
on.
He
He
was
was
bringing it up.
he would ask every
that was
once in a
something
while.
that she elaborated on, was like he seemed disappointed though, and I feel like that's where the quotation marks came in. But that's my interpretation of it.
Because guess what? In a relationship, there is a point where you should have sex to see if you're really compatible.
Right.
Trust me, it's not something that you need to do to be compatible, but it's also something that's very intimate and it lets you bond.
Right. It
And
lets
that's
you
the
know
point.
who this person is.
And then all of that put together for him to be a very nice person, not pressure her, and then give years
Right.
of his life to her. And then for her to immediately go one day and then fuck some dude she doesn't know, you're a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
And he has
She
every right
waited
to be
3
angry.
days.
She waited 3 whole
Yeah.
days. Like,
I mean, I'm just
I'm
Right,
not
right.
mad. I'm just
Don't
saying, like,
shoot the messenger.
ooh, fucking 3 days. What an asshole. And he has every right to be angry.
Yeah.
He has could you imagine if one of your friends, because this is actually, I'm not relating this specifically to you, Austin,
Okay.
but like, imagine that one of your friends has a girlfriend and you root them on, and then one day they break up, and it's because, well, it's like, well, we never really were intimate with each other, and she wasn't ready or he wasn't ready. And then the next time you see them, they're like, I fucked somebody. You would be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's
You'd
someone.
be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Right.
And it's the person that she apparently cared about so much to be with him for 2 fucking years.
2.5 years.
2.5.
2.5.
And that's my thing. You don't need a relationship, have sex to have a good relationship.
Yeah, I think
that's just the thing. She put so much pressure on herself to have it when it was out of the relationship. She clearly wanted to at one point.
Right.
But then she just apparently didn't feel comfortable enough. But she apparently felt comfortable enough to let some dude who was just like, you look beautiful. Do you want to go fuck in my car?
Yeah, see, that's someone who's blinded by.
Yeah.
They got the blinders on.
And there's distraught. And when you're distraught, you don't want to have sex. You want to be left alone. You don't want anyone to look at you. Trust me.
Playing devil's advocate, some people are different. Some people genuinely want comfort.
Yeah, but then there's the thing. If you find comfort in immediately sleeping with a guy that you don't really know,
that's not healthy.
That's not good. You clearly had some issues before that you really didn't want to resolve with someone you care about.
Right.
Yeah.
You cared about this man for long enough to where you wanted to be with him for 1 year plus.
Yeah.
And then he didn't pressure you. And maybe I'm taking his side a little too much. Maybe there's some stuff we don't know.
Right.
I'm still looking at this from the point of view of someone who thinks they did nothing wrong. And in looking from what they believe is not wrong, it's absurd. Don't get me wrong. He's still an asshole.
Yeah, he did name call.
No, that's fine. That's okay. When he started making a point to tell everyone else, is when he hits the point of asshole. Because that's between two people who know each other very intimately. You can call names, you can do that because that's just part of a relationship, honestly.
Right.
That I know it's not healthy, but it's something that can happen.
It happens.
But then when he went out of his way to tell her friends and all that,
to spread the fucking gospel.
And I get how he feels. That's totally justifiable in his way, but he shouldn't have went out of his way to try and ruin her socially. Right. He should have told it from his point of view that years went by and this and that, not try and slander her immediately.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's an asshole from one point to another.
Yeah.
Not the whole time. She's an asshole completely because, again, you cared for this person that much.
Yeah.
You genuinely love them if you really want to be with them for that long. And then it's like, he actively did it in a very adult and nice way. I don't just don't feel like we combine like that. If we don't, I don't feel sexually
satisfied.
So I'm sorry. I would rather try and find someone who likes me just as much as you do.
And he even said like he wishes her the best and hopefully they'll find better partners and things like that.
And then she just immediately goes, hey, that random dude who called me pretty?
Yeah.
Let me fuck him.
Right. That's
someone, the part that's like
so
scummy.
You got something you got to sort out. You got some kind of demons inside you got to fix.
It's just such a fucking low thing to do to someone you apparently care about.
Yeah.
And again, in her mind, it was over. But most times that happens. In a relationship, that will happen. Where like a week will go by and they'll both go, maybe we should try one more time.
Yeah.
She didn't even give it enough time. She immediately just went.
Yeah,
the first person.
That's true.
And the way she makes it sound is like the first person to give her a compliment. She was like, "I felt so gross. You made me feel good."
Yeah, that's someone who's they got something they got to sort out.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think he turned into the asshole as soon as he crossed the line into spreading the word. That's what I think. As soon as he stepped over, like blocking, I kind of see as like a bit childish a little bit.
I believe I believe everything he did up to the point where he started like, because would you want to see this person that you cared about for years and years?
I mean, that's true. But if she wants, he came to her.
Yeah, he came to her.
And he was like, I love you, and I really thought about during this time, and I'm like, I think I can wait because I love you that much.
Till you feel comfortable.
I'm trying to think though if I don't know, because
I feel blocking is fine, because guess what? Clearly, the other person doesn't care enough, to even be a good friend to you or this or that. Because it seems like she didn't even try to be friends with him.
Yeah,
after the fact.
It does. Yeah, it really seems
so. Like he didn't block her then. So then after that, he was like, "Fuck this."
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's true. That's true. He didn't do it right off the bat. Okay.
See, that's why I'm like, I could sway your view on this a little, because once you put it in perspective from their perspective, it's like he was like. In her eyes, even he was a good person.
Yeah,
and he was continually a good person
until that moment.
And even then, she still clearly thinks of him as a good person enough to care
to justify it.
to care to
justify it
ask.
and bring it up to him too. That was another thing.
She's just she has problems that she needs to sort out.
She's not too far down the road though. I think that's another thing. From what we've gathered, it's
Yeah.
like she's not so far down the rabbit hole she can't see the light yet. She just has that chance of like, okay, here's your crossroads. You go here, get better, or you go here and get more toxic.
I feel as though that was the point in the crossroads that she already went down the toxic road.
Well, she went
Well,
down
because no,
this is like the final. Like I'm talking.
no,
This is like
hear
the
me out
final
with
stop.
this. When you go 2 years with somebody, you've made a lot of choices along that way that prove that you are either A, a good couple, or B, not able to be together for so long. He waited and gave her chances, and then she gave him chances, and that's the point. Is that that's like the moment that you both go, I feel comfortable enough to let this happen between us.
Yeah.
And then she was not comfortable. That's fine. But when he goes, I guess you just don't like me like that. You don't like me enough like that. So I guess it's not good for us to be together.
Right.
And then as soon as it's done, to immediately try to fuck somebody, that's already a crossroads that she's passed. Because I feel like, because I know people who have done this, you get a point where you turn to someone for physical attention and then you never stop.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's a common thing that happens where someone will get a little physical attention from someone they don't know. And they'll be like, that's how a relationship should be. And then they get stuck in a black hole of
Yeah.
constantly meeting someone, having sex with them, and then breaking
Right.
up with them. And
Yeah.
same thing over and over because you've already hit the point which that's what you think comfort is. Because that's clearly what you thought comfort was.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's already crossed that point to me. So she's
Right.
already down the rabbit hole.
For
Cause
me-
because I know people who are like that. And I've
Right.
experienced that with people. So I get that.
For me, what I see it is just like I don't know. I always believe that someone can change.
I do
Yeah.
too.
So like what I think of it is, okay, so let's think of it like she's in the middle, and then so the middle is neutral, right?
Yeah. So
left-
everybody, so you're saying that everybody starts in the neutral
Okay,
zone.
so she started in the neutral.
Okay.
She fucks the guy. She's now at the halfway mark between the toxicity.
I think she's
She-
already down the road a little.
Well, like right, she's not full blown.
From what I've observed.
From what you experienced.
From what
Yeah.
I've observed from multiple people who have had the same thing happen to them and done the same thing, I know that this goes one way and then it goes the other.
Right.
Where someone will tell them that's a very toxic thing,
Yeah.
and they'll realize it, and then they'll do it a few more times and then go, I shouldn't have done that, and then try and work their way back around.
Right.
Yeah.
Versus, like, she can't, at this point, she can't backpedal because he's clearly done with her.
Yeah. So like.
So
Yeah.
there's no backpedaling. So she's already down that road. She has to make the choice to go,
Yes.
all right, am I going to continue doing this on this path, or am I going to try and split off and try and make myself a better
Right,
person?
so
So
I
she's
think
already down the road.
for me,
It's just
she's
that
at
she has another crossroads
she's at
to
that
go.
she's at that crossroads right now
Okay.
from neutral. She's at that halfway mark. She's still in the toxicity zone, but she's at that halfway mark where she's going to fucking Rad City, or she can come back and try to better herself. Obviously not with the guy.
Yeah, but
He's
just
gone.
in general.
Yeah, just in general.
Okay.
Because that's the kind of like I see people like that with that kind of lifestyle, just like, oh, we're just fucking random people, this and that. It's no big deal. That toxicity, and then when they want to have a relationship, but they still have that toxicity, they're in the city, right? They're in the thick of it. They're not coming out.
Yeah. Okay.
That's someone that's for her. I think she's at the border.
She's at
She's
the
getting
second
close.
crossroads.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's getting close to
Yeah, she's
making
getting
a
close to
really
it.
bad choice.
And I think she has.
I think she already made a bad choice. That's
Yeah,
why.
I mean,
she
yeah,
made
but
a
I'm
bad
saying
choice,
like
hands
even
down.
worse.
But she has I think she's at her final step to fix herself, but not the guy. The guy's gone. She already fucked up with that first turning point.
He might come back because I know people who are like that. Where they'll stop for a while and then come back.
yeah, unless
maybe.
he fucks one of her friends, and then we
Well,
get like.
I feel like he is not justified to go immediately fuck somebody. But if it happened, I would understand.
Yeah.
Because it's been 2 years of sexual repression for him, and I don't think that's right. But that's how the human mind
but
works.
that's also like his decision was to go 2.5 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it's
He
not
gave
like
it
he
an
was just like-
honest, really good try.
Yeah.
And she clearly did not see him that way.
Yeah, she
So-
she missed it.
So then he went, all right, I guess it's not that way with us. I'm sorry. I would much rather have a fulfilling relationship with someone who
Right.
excites me sexually so then I could, get everything I would want out of a relationship.
Yeah.
Because don't get me wrong, a relationship is great when you can have conversations and be this and be really close to each other. But there is a point in which you need to connect physically
Yeah.
with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whether that be sex or a bonding thing, it's just you need to find that. And
Yeah,
it's clear
yeah.
that they didn't have that
But what if they're
If-
asexual?
if they're both asexual, it wouldn't have mattered. They wouldn't have
That's
fucked
fair.
anybody.
That's fair.
They would have butted and then went away. They would have been happy.
Yeah.
But it's just the fact that she decided immediately, because that's a road of toxicity I've seen many times, and it always ends up with a person at a certain point in their life going, "Oh my God, I can't believe I did this for this long. I can't believe it. I've done this for how long?" Like literally
Right.
that. And then they go, "I want to better myself," but they don't know how to. 'Cause
Right.
that's how they know that relationship or
Yeah.
like that
Yeah, yeah.
dynamic is that if someone isn't touching you or having sex with you, it's not a good relationship.
Yeah, they're lost in that maze of trying to find
Of like trying to find the point in which it becomes a healthy relationship and just a relationship.
Yep.
I'm curious to what you think about the guy.
The guy?
Yeah.
Because like you know how I feel about the guy right now.
Yeah.
You also, I think you feel the same way,
A
but
little bit like
you feel like he did it a little too early.
I think because for what I think with the blocking, I think that closes out all communications. I think being able to talk about it, like, does she say how old she is?
20?
20?
Or 19.
19? Okay. They're borderline adult, I think.
Yeah.
Classified wise, yes, they are
adults.
they are adults.
Yeah.
But I don't think they reach that moment in their life when they look at all the lessons that they learned as a kid and they use that to become an adult.
Yeah.
They're right before that.
So I think for the dude, he should be the bigger man and like not like white knight or this and that, but like
Try and help her improve.
be open to a conversation at least.
So you're saying it's kind of
Here-
childish to just completely block out
Here's
any
my
sort of
thing.
talk.
It's justifiable, but you shouldn't have to go down there.
Here's my thing.
Okay.
It was 2.5 years for a conversation that she could have had with them. She actively avoided it. He was open to it.
Right.
Clearly.
So obviously
That's
there's-
where I'm like, he's justifiable in that, because there was a point in this relationship for 2.5 years that they could have been talking about it or understanding each other about
but
it.
also that there's some obviously other underlying issues that we don't know about.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying it's totally okay for him to do this, because clearly she didn't want to talk to him about it. If she really
there's a reason why
He
They
wanted
boiled
to.
up to this point.
Yeah.
He wanted
Yeah.
to. He actively made an attempt to.
But is it absolutely necessary to be like, oh yeah, babe, I'm just gonna fuck you right now? It's like, is it?
No,
That's
not how he was presented.
well, I mean, but still, I wouldn't just like go up to my girl and be like, all right, let's just do it right now, like that shit. Like if it was,
I bet you it was never like
But
that.
you think, but like, I feel like if you kept asking
The
her,
way-
she'd bring it
the-
up eventually at a point where she was ready and was like, hey, do you want to have sex?
I just think, well, I think
the way I think you're thinking about it is that he would just ask randomly.
no, I wouldn't think. Well, that's what but I think
But
what
the way that they spoke about it is that it was probably during groping and touching and kissing.
Right, I think-
because that's why she specifically mentioned it.
I think like it should be something in where it's in the heat of the moment and there's no words said. It's something where you look at your spouse, your partner, and you can see it and like, okay, it clicks with you. But like when as soon as you start asking for it, like if he starts like, okay, let's say he starts making moves and she just kind of like,
Well, here's the thing. It's in most relationships it's not like that. I'm going to be honest with you. It's
Right,
not.
yeah, it's-
But here's the thing. If he's asking, that means he cares enough to fucking ask. He's like, because she's clearly was never comfortable with it in the first place. So he's like, would you want to? And she goes, no. And he goes, okay, you clearly do not want to.
right, but
So then that's what I mean. If you asking is a lot better than just going for it.
well, for me though, it's not it's
Because
you
what
can
you're saying
see
is
it,
that
though.
it should be. No, you can't sometimes. That's just the truth of a relationship. Sometimes people don't show their emotions.
well,
like
I mean,
that.
but no, if it's well, I mean,
Well, also
I'm
don't forget
comparing it.
don't forget they were doing touching.
Yeah.
So they clearly were comfortable enough to touch.
Right, and
So then that's
also
where-
they're younger, and I'm trying like I'm thinking of them as like full fledged like adults,
Adults.
that could
That could.
properly
But that's why you need to keep that. in
right. Yeah,
perspective.
see now
Maybe
like
this
when they're
is just
younger.
a learning. Maybe it's a sucky thing for everybody, but it might just be a learning experience.
Oh,
for
it's
both of them.
definitely
It's definitely a learning
fucking
experience.
It's
He's
not
gonna
the
lear-
end of the world either.
He's
too.
gonna learn that maybe sometimes people just aren't attracted to other people, and she's gonna learn that maybe sometimes got to put your own feelings aside to make someone happy.
right.
And don't get me wrong, giving someone sex is not the way to make someone happy. If that's the only thing they want, fuck them. They're a piece of shit.
Right.
Yeah.
You need to understand that sometimes people have feelings above that. And the reason why some people have sex is not because they just want to have sex. It's to have that bond with somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he wanted. Because it's clear that he cared enough for 2.5 years. It's not like he was fucking just like, oh, one day I'm going to
Right.
get this fucking... No. He clearly cared enough to be kind and ask and wait and be He wasn't persistent even. It seemed like he just tried every once in a while and went, oh, no, that's fine. I won't
Right.
pressure
I mean,
you.
that's I mean, also that's granted though.
We don't know the whole thing, but
Right.
from what she is saying about him, because usually when people say these, they try and spin it in a way that makes them seem like kind of an asshole. She clearly seems like, because even if she was trying to make him seem like an asshole, there's no way that he could be in this situation because of the way she even painted him.
I am so torn on this, quite honestly. I don't know how, like,
This
having
comes
gone
down
through
to an
the stuff,
experience thing.
gone through the stuff even I've gone through.
Yeah.
It's still like even hard for me to like come to any conclusion with this, quite honestly, simply because it's like it is her body. She is allowed to do it, but there are some social repercussions to it too.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
You know,
There's
it's kind of
it's
hard
a
to be like
culture thing.
you're an a-hole for
I
doing
think-
for changing your mind and like, but the thing is there's a whole lot to it. It's incredibly difficult for me to
right.
unravel.
It's the way she changed her mind, though, that bothers me the
Yeah,
most.
that's where I go. You're an a-hole for fucking up. For him, I think
He's an a-hole part.
partly.
I would say he's an a-hole for calling her a whore and things
Yeah,
like
that
that.
part.
I think that's okay because guess what? He
Not like
spent
okay, but it happened.
It's okay because he spent 2.5 years fucking trying, and it wasn't like he was trying like, oh yeah, right now, let's do this.
But also,
I don't
it's
like
not
the idea.
good.
I don't think name calling in
not-
any
it's
situation.
not
is
okay.
and plus they're younger too. If there was 2 years, okay, so let's say
If they were like 25 and this happened, then it's like now you should know better.
But yeah, you let your emotions get the best of you.
That's why I'm
at the same
saying it's okay.
time. I still don't think it's okay.
I don't think
feel
it's
like it's a learning
justifiable.
experience. I don't think
it's justifiable. I think it's okay.
it's understandable because
if
you're
a
at
kid,
that age.
If you're a kid, you call someone what you think they are.
Right, yeah,
He's still a kid.
Yeah, he's still a kid in heart.
And
hands down.
guess what? She's also a kid, but she decided to act like an adult and try and fuck a dude that she doesn't know because she
Right.
felt like she wasn't pretty.
Also, a little bit added on to this because she
Okay,
did eventually
please.
add on something, which was something I wanted to get
Because
into.
you said that
And a
come
lot
off
of
on this.
people are asking me how I felt ready for this new guy, but not my boyfriend. So I'll copy and paste the comment I made. It's different though. I loved my ex truly, but I just never felt ready throughout our relationship. I just didn't want to rush and regret it immensely. After we broke up, I felt so shitty about myself and I thought I was the ugliest person on earth. My coworker made me feel so beautiful. I realized that saving my virginity is why I lost the man I loved, so I thought fuck it and did it. I can understand him being hurt, but he doesn't have a claim on my body. I understand him being hurt and betrayed, but I would think the appropriate response is to talk to each other maturely and get past this hurdle because that's what someone does, or that's what someone who claims they love you does, not just calling you a whore and spread rumors to your friends. Rumors is bullshit, by the way.
That's not a rumor. That's just the truth.
If he's like, yeah, maybe it was the
It's-
hoeing around. Maybe
what
it
is
was the
said is not like he might say it a way that's a rumor, but what he said was true.
well, I mean, if she
Holistically, she did sleep with a guy that she didn't know after they had
Pretty
broken
soon,
up.
yeah.
But who's to say that he hasn't? Is he still a virgin? Was he fucking chicks before he met her? Like that's another thing.
No. That doesn't have anything to do with this.
I would
But
say
I don't
that
think
because-
she
because-
deserves that title of hoe though. I don't think that.
I think she
No, I think calling her a whore and stuff
is not good, but I understand. But here's my thing. The way she painted that makes him she's trying to backpedal on what she said about him. Read that bit where she talks about how much she loves him. Cuz she said she loved him for 2 years. 2 fucking years.
seems like
And then
she-
the reason why you lost him is not because you fucking loved him so much that you've saved your virginity for him. You immediately threw it away.
Yeah, it's
That proves you didn't love him that much.
it
Because
was
if you
a
loved him that much,
mental-
you would have saved it for
a
him.
mental love, and then she didn't have the physical.
But yeah, again,
That's what I'm saying. You should, if there's times where you need to be an adult.
yeah,
There's times where you need to look at stuff from a wider perspective.
Again,
She's right. He doesn't have a claim on her body. But when you're with someone for so long, it's an expectation. But fuck it, who cares? Expectations are meant to be broken. But when the immediate thing after fucking 2.5
and especially
years,
when that was the
3
catalyst
days,
that
are
led
you
to everything
fucking
was the
kidding me?
sex. Especially when the catalyst that led to everything ending was that point. That
And
seems
then
to be
she
the
threw
main
it
reason.
at some dude she doesn't fucking know.
So-
that's the part that fucking killed. Because it was
Again,
also a coworker. I think of it from his perspective. She works with this fucking man.
Yeah.
That was also with her probably a little bit more
Yeah.
commonly than
Yeah.
him. And she wanted to fuck him before he even gave a chance to her.
Yeah.
She gave a chance to him.
I would disagree with you simply on the horror part. I get where you're coming
No,
from.
I'm not
but-
saying it's good. I'm
No,
saying it's understandable.
I still think he's an asshole for it though, regardless. And I guess talking to other people, maybe he was just ranting. But it sounded more like it was to tell people like, "This is what you did to me. Don't talk." Like
Right.
it felt more like that, like in malice,
Also,
than in like
don't
trying to
forget-
get comfort and them hearing the story and deciding.
This is also from her point of view. So he actually might have just told it like how she said it.
I guess
but
he says that she said, like apparently she has quotes from it because she does quote it saying, "I wanted to be a hoe and fuck my old creepy dude." What part? There's a part where she has quotations, which makes it seem like this was
Said.
that a creepy old coworker the day we broke up, and then I'm a raging bitch. That was
That's heat of the moment kind of shit.
yeah.
That's why I think
but I still
it's-
don't think it makes you not an asshole to say.
Yeah,
it
you should-
That's why I'm
regardless.
saying it's
You gotta-
understandable.
it's
I'm not saying it's
understandable
good.
what you-
justifiable asshole is what you're saying.
It's understandable. It's
It's
not
understand-
justifiable. It's because imagine because you've had people do horrible shit to you.
Yeah, yeah.
And you have every right to be pissed and call them names because you as another human being had a say in this that they didn't give you.
Yeah.
And that's why you have a right to call them names and all that. But it's not justifiable in the sense that you should. You should be a bigger person.
As soon as you cross that line.
But
Yeah.
it's the thing of I understand.
Right, yeah.
Because guess what?
You can-
I've
yeah.
not done it to people, but I wanted to.
Right.
Where I'm like, you fucking piece of shit.
Right.
Fucking you
Yeah,
gotta treat
same.
you gotta treat people the way you want to be treated. And if that's the way you want to treat him, I understand.
So
I fucking understand.
top comment, you're the asshole. I feel this is very liberal leaning, so you get a lot of you have no obligation to have sex with anyone comments, which I agree with actually. But 2.5 years is a long time. This audience is mostly young adults, so just imagine you're a junior in college. They started dating the first or second month of freshman year. That's a very long time to be together, especially how long you are. He never pressured you. He decided that sexual incompatibility was the deal breaker, which is very valid. Let's not pretend people don't break up because of a difference of libidos. The man was really patient. 2.5 years is an insane amount of time to wait. But ultimately, you seem to not be budging on this issue, so you thought maybe it was best to break up. Then you decide not even 3 days after you broke up to sleep with someone else? I'm sorry, that's just cruel. This man supposedly loved, waited for almost 3 years, and your creepy old coworker was able to say a few fake compliments and get in your pants that easily? Do you not see how hurtful that could be to him? I think it's generally bad taste to sleep with anyone that soon after a relationship ended. I get some people mourn differently, but that's just my opinion. The fact that the reason why you guys broke up was because you didn't want to have sex solidifies my you're the asshole verdict, as opposed to not the asshole. I'm sorry you're going through this situation, and I wish you the best.
That's basically what I said.
Yeah.
To a nearly T. But here's my thing. You also got to think of it from both people's perspective, and I do every time because guess what? There's more than one side to every story.
Yep.
His side is much more tragic than her side in any way possible. Not because guess what? He clearly loved her to give her that much time, to not pressure her, to show her he cares enough to be like, I don't think we don't need to. I'm just feeling like because at a certain point you go from I want to have sex to I want to be close to this person.
Right.
Because it gets different the more time you put into it. And then it's like he waits 2.5 years and he's finally like, you know what? Maybe it's just me.
Yeah.
Maybe she doesn't like me that way. I'm fine with letting her go and trying to find someone she cares about.
You're another...
But then,
I'm sorry, go on.
But then immediately, 3 days after, a coworker that she barely fucking knows, who gives her a few compliments, fucks her. Then he has every right to go, what the fuck? Did I mean nothing to you?
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's
Did you not care enough about me?
Yeah.
for me, I think it's understandable that she was in a rough spot. But again, as soon as she sort of stepped back, looked at the situation, but instead she crossed over. That's where I go, okay, that part's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's understandable that you did it. You shouldn't have. You should have stepped back, looked at your situation, think about him, think about yourself, and not fucking this random dude.
I think she should have never even fucking pitied the idea that she should have sex with him. She should have been like, if this is what got me here, I shouldn't just immediately do it. She should have been a fucking adult and thought about it. She clearly is still a child and thinks that it's all because of the sex. It's clearly fucking not.
Right.
It's about the time he put in, the
Yeah.
effort, the care, the love,
Yep.
the kindness he portrayed.
And
then she just threw it in his face.
You're the asshole. Oh God, I pity this dude so much. I can't imagine that. Basically, for 2.5
I'm
years,
sorry
you
what I
told
said.
him
Yeah.
he had to wait for sex, and then you gave it up to a dude in a few hours. Oh man, I can't imagine how bad this dude feels right now. You basically just told him 2.5 years of loving you is worth less than 3 hours of some other dude's compliments.
Almost exactly what I said.
Yeah. I think final verdict though.
They're both
They're
assholes.
both.
She's more of an asshole than him.
Yes,
but
yes.
he's still an asshole for basically ruining her social life. But that's because they're kids too, and
They're fucking young.
she kind of deserves it in a weird way, but he also kind of deserves it in a weird way too.
Yeah.
Where he's definitely a fucking asshole for that, but I understand.
Yeah.
I agree, and ultimately the verdict, this was locked because of how vile people were being towards her. So it had to be locked, and there was no verdict given.
She's an asshole.
At least
I think-
assumed,
I
given the
think
fact that's
both.
what happens when a sub like this
both
doesn't.
assholes.
She's tipping the scales a little bit more. But still.
She tried.
Everybody sucks here.
Yeah,
It is
everybody-
a
Yeah, everybody
verdict.
sucks. Especially that coworker. That coworker
The
took advantage
coworker's
of her.
a fucking rat.
Yeah,
He's
totally.
a fucking took
I
advantage of her.
totally agree.
Yeah,
Like,
he's a fucking sleazeball.
Yeah.
And he saw her. He saw she was sad. He was like,
He
"Oh,
took
fuck."
advantage of her.
And she was in a bad spot.
She was in a bad spot.
And-
She fell for it because she's young too, so she fell for the fucking cheesy one-liners. Oh my god, I've known so many people that go, he was just always so nice to me, and I go, every
I know.
fucking guy does that. Every guy goes, babe, you're smart, babe. Don't let anyone,
babe, Ada.
Ada, baby. Every fucking guy does that shit. That is the easiest shit to do, and it's the easiest way to get fucking brownie points.
So again, I don't know if the thread was locked. Typically, when something gets over 1,000 upvotes and has this much like stuff behind it, because again, people are getting gilded and things like that. When it has this much momentum behind it, typically
They let it ride out. and
they
then
let it. They
lock
give
it.
a verdict to it, and the fact that this one doesn't have a verdict makes me come to the conclusion that the thread was actually locked. Actually, I think I can tell if I try upvoting it. No, maybe it wasn't locked. Maybe they just never gave it a verdict. But I'd assume that it probably got locked.
I'm assuming that the verdict was probably because we've learned a little bit about how like Reddit sees things, and they see it from a very young perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would
Yeah.
assume that most people would go on the side of the guy, because I think that like the way I'm looking at it is not adult, but from all perspectives.
Yeah.
Because don't get me wrong, they're all assholes in this situation, but she is the most for just
Yes.
giving this up, this fucking important thing that she held so dearly up to some fucking sleazy cunt.
Maybe she's an
she's-
asshole to herself.
She's an
She's
asshole.
asshole to him too.
Yeah,
And
okay.
yeah. She's an asshole because of you're an idiot. You didn't look at everything. You didn't look at the full spectrum. I think he's an asshole for crossing over that line of like, bro, you shouldn't have said this to it. Now it could
Yeah.
be he said it to one person, and then that one person.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Is that it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't just him
we have
going.
to go off
Everyone gather around. I have a story.
But speculation
to tell.
aside, she did say he told her
Right.
friends.
So going off of what she said, with that evidence
Mm-hmm.
that he said to everyone, that's an asshole. I'd be like, bro, you shouldn't have fucking done that.
You know what?
I
Yup.
get where you're
I think
coming
everybody
from.
sucks.
I think everyone sucks. But you
Yeah.
know what I think it was? That was probably the main thing that probably caused this to happen for her. Was the fact that maybe he didn't say anything mean at all, and her friends heard this and came to the same conclusion we did. Maybe he was just like, she ended up having sex with this guy, and I feel terrible. She was angry, but most people when that happens, they're not angry enough to talk to other people about it right away.
Yeah, like something that heavy.
Like, they
yeah.
usually-
I mean,
usually
unless he
keep
was
it-
like fucking hammered or smashed, but I doubt.
But
that.
they're too young
well
to drink.
I mean, is that fucking?
Well, we don't actually. I don't think she
Let's
ever.
assume that they're good kids since they were
Okay,
together
okay.
for 2 years. So let's say that maybe he just explained the situation to her friends, and her friends went, "Yeah,
Right. So kind
Yeah,
of
you're
like
an
the
asshole.
telephone
Yeah.
game where it's like,
I wish I
the-
knew how old he was because we actually don't know.
yeah, if
I would say they're around the same
I would
age,
say they were around
considering
the
that
same
they
age,
were
too.
together during high school.
yeah,
But again, people do date high schoolers.
But then this would be like an absurd amount because 2
Yeah.
years and she's 19. She would have been 17, and they probably would have met at 16.
Yeah, they
Or
probably
like-
would have met at 16.
So
Right.
that would mean he would be an older guy who met a 16-year-old and dated her for years.
right.
but that happens.
That happens, but it wouldn't be as like they would have probably broken up way before then, considering that she seems very adamant about
Yeah.
certain things. Like she seems like a very
Yeah,
she had strong morals until the moment that someone challenged them.
yeah.
Yeah. So, I feel like the verdict here for us is everyone sucks. And I
Yeah.
feel like this is a good place to end. We've actually talked about this thread for about 30 to 40 minutes.
Yes, it's very important to talk about this kind of thing because there's many perspectives, and we could just give a very base off the cuff assumption.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then once you don't put it in perspective from everyone's point of view, you kind of lose the point of
Yeah,
if
you
it's,
limit-
are you an asshole?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, thanks for listening.
I think
Good stuff.
Yeah, that was.
That was good.
It's been the SAD cast with
Austin.
and Drayton. See you next time.
Bye bye.
Oh
Oh, Drake, not there.
no! Oh, there's a wound there.
Oh!
This mouse sucks.
Fuck you. That mouse is amazing, dog. I'm taking this mic off. Man. I'm gonna be like Leon Lush.